Cedeno's now the shortstop as Jack Wilson's off in Seattle, and Ross Ohlendorf will be on the mound for Pittsburgh. And here we go. Yolis Chacin, and his first pitch is inside, ball one on McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen in the first series at Coors Field went 5 for 15. That fastball misses, and it's 2-0. 88 degrees our game time temperature. McCutchen in at 292. 7 home runs, 3 of which came in one ball game on August the 1st. And there's the fastball for a strike.
Well, he's just an exciting young player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Part of the reason why they were able to trade Nate McLouth to the Atlanta Braves, because they had this guy knocking on the door.
And Chacin's fastball gets away there, 3-1. You imagine there are a few more nerves, even though he's been on a big league mound now on a few occasions. There's still got to be some more nerves when you're the focus of things in the first inning.
Definitely, because you think about the other spots that he's been into, Jim Tracy, Bob Apodaca, they've tried to kind of mix and match and put him in situations that aren't quite as stressful. Well, this is different when you're coming out and you're starting for the first time at the major league level.
Here's the 3-2, and it's a tad inside. So McCutchen never swings the bat, and Chacin walks Andrew McCutchen, who can fly. Let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on the 21-year-old Yolis Chacin.
89-94 with more sink, and that's when he really stays on front of it, on top of the ball. Get that sink. Slider acts like a cutter more than that. 12-6 curveball. Changeup 81-86. That is his main breaking pitch when things are going well for Chacin, is to get that good breaking pitch, good changeup.
And that fastball just a little bit inside on Lasting's millage.
Well, right now he's just rushing it just a little bit. That front side's coming open instead of staying on level plane, going to home plate. When you do that, you kind of fly open, you leave your arm behind. That's why the ball is flat and sinking back towards the inside part of the plate.
That's a strike, 1-1. McCutchen at first base has 9 stolen bases in 10 attempts. You'll like this one. I asked Andrew McCutchen about an hour ago. I said, all right, what's your fastest 60 time? You ready?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
6.2.
No way. 6.2.
That's what he told me.
Man.
We've seen him run.
We've seen him fly. Yeah, we've seen it before, and we keep comparing him. You know, who's faster? Is it going to be Dexter Fowler? Is it be Andrew McCutchen? I mean, all these different names that you throw out. Michael Bourne. Who's faster? I mean, 6'2", that's flying.
That's ridiculous. And Millage fouls it off. He had the front side flying out of the way there. Now, Millage, when he came up with the Mets, was their top prospect. And he sort of fell out of favor there. There were, I think, some people within the Mets and the veterans felt like he had a little too much hot dog in him. And then the numbers declined. They traded him to Washington, and he fell out of favor in Washington, and now he's in Pittsburgh. This is a soft liner, gloved by Barnes, doubling up McCutchen at first, 2 gone. That'll help out Chacin's nerves.
Yes, it will. Another hard slider from Yolis, 82 miles an hour. McCutchen, as you mentioned on the previous swing, that front shoulder flies open. When Barmes is able to get it and make the snap throw over to first base. That's just bad base running from the young McCutchen kid, though. That ball's in front of you. You got to freeze on the line.
Well, here's Garrett Jones, who hit 10 home runs in the month of July. That was more than any player in baseball. He's got 12 now. The problem with Garrett, I shouldn't say it's a problem, but so far when he's hit the long ball, nobody's been on base.
It's a problem.
Okay. I'm trying to be kind.
I know you were, but I looked at that when I was writing that down in my book today. I said, this has to be a misprint. I mean, he cannot go 12 home runs, only 19 RBIs.
That's hard to do.
It is, but it helps when you're just 2 for 28 with runners in scoring position.
And if you swing at that, it's going to be a long night.
Yes.
1-2. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by the Exempla Lutheran Medical Center. Dexter Fowler ran into the wall, making one of the best catches we've seen all year. And he has undergone, or will be undergoing, a precautionary MRI on his knee. And he's really day-to-day. They believe that he's going to be fine in a day or two. Here's the catch. I mean, full speed. And I was talking to Jim Tracy about this. Jeff, you and I have mentioned it, not only in this play, but previous catches by Fowler. He is absolutely fearless.
And you have to be, though. Go after a ball like that?
Yep. Gonzalez coming hard, and Seth Smith will make the catch. A good start for Yolis Chacin. We'll see the Rockies offensively when we come back. Doing on offense for Jim Tracy the last few days. In fact, they're hitting .365 on this homestand thus far, and a .365 average as well with runners in scoring position. Seth Smith will lead it off. Carlos Gonzalez in the 2-hole. Then Helton with a 15-game hitting streak. Tulowitzki was pretty good last night, as I recall. Brad Hopp will be next, and Ian Stewart. Clint Farmas, who homered yesterday. Chris Ionetta, who's had the last couple of ball games off. And then the pitcher, the 21-year-old Yolis Chacin, to face a big Texan who's a bright young man, Ross Ohlendorf out of Princeton. And he's been really good, Huey, in the second half.
Oh, he has 2.70 ERA since the break.
So Seth Smith with a .296 batting average takes strike one. And this is ripped to right field, base hit for Smith. You know what? That guy could just flat rate. He can hit.
He can hit, just plain and simple.
Take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on Ohlendorf.
Big right-hander, 6'4", about 225, 230 pounds. Fastball 90 to 95, but it is pretty straight. Not a whole lot of movement on that. Slider is that hard biting, good action down and in towards the lefty. Straight, just a straight changeup for Ross, but he has a lot of trouble out on the road. Hasn't won out on the road since May 18th at Washington.
Gonzalez drags a bunt, and this is a beautiful one, and a quick throw. He's going to nail him by half a step. Good job by Ohlendorf getting off the mound, and Gonzalez will get credit for a sacrifice, so he was bunting for a hit there. Here's the Pirates defensively. Village runs well. McCutcheon flies, as we talked about. Gary Jones in right. Andy LaRoche is about the only guy left in the infield. Cedeno's new. Delwyn Young, originally from the Dodgers, late in spring training. Steve Pearce up from the minor leagues. Ryan Doman's healthy again. He had a wrist injury. He can swing the bat. He's behind the plate. So Smith in scoring position for Todd Helton, who threw out 3 hits last night, but it was overshadowed by Tulowitzki. In fact, he has been marvelous on the homestand. He has 10 hits and 16 at-bats.
Just been in the middle of everything. Scored a lot of runs, and it helps when you got a guy like Tulo hitting behind you, drive you in.
And this gets away for a moment, and Smith is out at third base. And if that throw is not right on the bag, Smith is safe. And I don't think Jim Tracy minds
No,
that. It's a ball in the dirt, and I think 98% of the time he's going to be safe. Just a perfect throw by Doman.
It was. I mean, because the ball gets away, Seth doesn't hesitate, but the throw is right on the money. So all LaRoche had to do was just drop the tag right there. And Seth read the ball perfectly. It was just a better play from Doman behind the plate.
So 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah, but in case you're wondering at home, that is not a caught steal.
Todd hits this ball to deep left center field. Millage going back will have room and he'll make the catch. So 1 inning complete. Seth Smith had a base hit. We'll go to the second, no score. Top of the second inning. Let's send it down to Alana Rizzo with tonight's Mike Shaw Auto Update. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. I asked Bob Apodaca, the Rockies pitching coach, earlier today what he told Ayolis Chacin earlier about making his first major league start. He said absolutely nothing. He said all of it goes to the catcher. He said it's important to be able to have the catcher lead the pitcher because normally rookies want to follow what the catcher does anyway. He said, I want him to keep it simple, and by giving a lot of the information, a lot of the onus to Chris Iannetta, he doesn't have to remember every single thing. He said, I'm going to treat it exactly as if he was coming for an appearance right out of the pen, guys.
Well, and that's the right thing to do. I mean, you think about this. Don't put so much in the kid's head that he forgets to go out and pitch. And the other point, too, is I thought they made a wise decision. Go ahead and start him because we talked a lot about Josh Fogg starting possibly. But in case something happens, you have Josh Fogg to come in and follow him up instead of the other way around.
I think that was the right way to go. Here's the 1-2 on Doman. The cut fastball at 91 missed. Doman's the only player who started on opening day in 2008 that is still on the roster for the Pirates.
That's shocking.
It is on one hand. The other hand is if you're an ardent fan of the Pirates, you say, hey, listen, 16 going on 17 straight losing seasons. Why not shake the whole thing up?
Well, and that's exactly what they've done, though. I mean, they've traded a lot of guys away. You talked about Adam LaRoche, Freddie Sanchez, Jack Wilson, Jason Bay. I mean, it goes down on and on and on.
3-2 pitch fouled off by Doman. Let's take a look at the Rockies' gloves. Seth Smith in left, Carlos Gonzalez in center, Brad Hoffman right. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes, and Helton in the infield. Iannetta back behind the plate. What a luxury, Jeff Houston, to have 2 center fielders that are outstanding defenders.
You need it
this
here.
Ball's clubbed to right, and it is over the head of Brad Hopp. Doman in second base with a double. So a leadoff double for Doman. He's one of the bats in the lineup you really have to pay attention to. Tonight is Email to Booth night. After all, it's Tuesday. Here's how you do it. Go to FSNinsider.com and then head to the Rocky Mountain homepage and click on the email the booth link. And we'll answer as many of your questions as always tonight as we can get to. It's brought to you by Office Liquidators, OfficeLiquidators.com. Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices of office furniture. Steve Pearce spent a good portion of the year in Indianapolis. AAA affiliate of the Pirates. And that slider's in there for a strike. That is the pitch, for me, that's a lot better than what we had heard. We saw him during spring training, and it's always been fastball command and a big league changeup. When he won 18 games a year ago in the minor leagues, that's what everybody talked about. His slider is pretty good.
Well, it is, and it has to be, though. At the big league level, you need to have at least 3 average to above average pitches to survive and be a quality starter here. If you can mix in a 4th one occasionally, that's great. But coming out of the bullpen, it's okay to have that fastball, changeup, occasional slider. But if you want to be a starter at this level, which Chacin eventually will be, you need to have those 3 pitches. It's pretty solid, though.
That one worked out pretty well. 1-2 right now on Steve Pearce as we take a look at our Bird Automotive keys to the game. Huey?
Yeah, Rocky's bullpen, because we already talked about Chacin's ability to go only 60 to 75 pitches. Stay focused. Don't overlook the Pirates. Very, very easy to do. And then the Lodo Magic. Coors Field is a pretty special place to be playing right now if you're a Colorado Rockies. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the ride.
Here's the 1-2, and Pearce didn't bite. He has struck out 33% of the time, which is a pretty high rate.
Well, it is, because he's just thinking about trying to hit a home run a lot of the time. That's where that hard slider that we've seen a couple times already comes into play, because it comes out of the hand like a fastball.
And it's chopped foul. Let's take a look at our first email of the night from Jake. And it's a very good question. Why can Josh Fogg only give the Rockies 3 to 4 innings if he used to be a starter? The operative word in that sentence, that question, is used to be. Not that he can't be again, but he's not, in baseball vernacular, stretched out. He's been working out of the bullpen. Starters work and they have length to them, so he's used to throwing 25, 30 pitches. Yeah,
and they have a different routine in between if you're a starter, how you work. If you're a bullpen guy, you don't get as much bullpen time off the mound.
Shattered bat, ground ball to Stewart. He's going to hold the runner. Doman's going to cross. It's a good job of base running by Ryan Doman, and a nice play by Stewart. So 1 out. Pearce is retired. That'll bring up Delwyn Young.
Broken bat off the bat of Steve Pearce, right off the end. Bat goes a long ways. Ian Stewart's able to backhand it, gather himself, make the strong throw, but Doman did make the wise move. The Hyundai Cam, here's the slider that we've been talking about. A little bit of tilt, a little bit of depth to it, but it had enough that it just chased towards the end of Steve Pearce's bat.
Infield back early in the ball game. Runner at third and 1 out. That's on the outside corner. That was well located.
Well, and that's where, when he feels like he needs to make sure that ball, he possibly gets a ground ball, something like that, that he'll start to sink the ball away from the left-handed hitter.
You know what? That's a strike. That hit Delwyn Young. That's a strike.
That's
folks.
a wild pitch too.
Yeah, and it's going to score away. Chris Iannetta, it even confused Chris Iannetta. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh. That was an oddball deal. Jim Trace is going to come out and argue it's not a dead ball because the pitch was swung at.
Nope, you're exactly right.
So even though it hit Delwyn Young, it's a strike.
It wasn't foul tip. That's the difference in this, because he swung at it and then it hits him. It doesn't matter on that part. And once it goes away, it's just a live ball. You have to go get it. And Doman did the wise thing. He's even unsure what to do. But you know what? Go ahead and go. If something happens, make the umpires call you back.
That was a foul tip.
But that's a wild play. I mean, we've seen the cycle last night, something that I hadn't seen in 24 years. I'm trying to think back. If I've seen a ball, I've seen balls that have been swung at that have hit the player, but then not go away and end up scoring a run.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's fouled by about 50 yards. Every once in a while, you'll see what just happened. A guy swing at a nasty, typically it's a breaking pitch, maybe bounce and hit them, and it's a strike, not a hit by pitch. But with the ball skipping away and a runner on third, I've never seen that before. So the Pirates up 1-0. Another 0-2 pitch upcoming. And he located the fastball. He just didn't get the strike call for Mike DeMuro. Mike DeMuro behind the plate. Chris Ciccione, back-to-back series here at Coors Field. He's at first base. Mike Winters at second. Jerry Lane at third. And that fastball on past Delwyn Young. 2 gone. First strikeout of the night for Chacín.
And this is the absolute best location that you can get that ball. The Hyundai Cam turns it over a little bit to get the run away from Delwyn Young, and he just doesn't catch up to it.
Andy LaRoche takes ball 1. We're going to monitor that pitch count for you very closely, because really in a perfect world you can't imagine Chacín throwing many more than 75 pitches. He's at 35 right now, and 36. His command has not been pinpoint thus far. He's had a couple of deep counts, including a walk of Andrew McCutchen, the leadoff hitter in the ballgame. 3-0 on LaRoche. 1-0 Pittsburgh. That's foreign territory for them on the road.
Yeah.
They've lost 5 straight ball games. They've scored a grand total of 4 runs in those 5 losses on the road. That's a strike.
It's 3-17 out of the last 20 road games.
And they're coming off a homestand in which they went 2-8. They split a 4-game series with Washington and then were swept by Arizona and St. Louis. And that's inside. So Chacín with his second walk, and that allows us to pay attention to our second email of the night. What role will Chacín play for the rest of the season? Well, Eric, I mean, he'll go back in the bullpen. Aaron Cook is scheduled to make his start Saturday, and assuming that all goes well and Aaron's able to make that start Saturday, Rockies are going to continue with the same group in their starting rotation. You wouldn't change that, and Chacín will go back to the pen.
We've talked about it a lot, that a lot of organizations will do that. If a guy's been a starter, and especially one of the top prospects that you have in your system, in Yolis, that there's nothing wrong with bringing him up for half a season, letting him get a lot of work out in the bullpen, and then see where you're at coming the following year.
Nope. Here's Ronnie Cedeno, and he takes ball 1.
Ronnie came over in the trade with Seattle for Jack Wilson. The shortstop with the Chicago Cubs went over to Seattle this off season. And now I think he's in a much better place here in Pittsburgh, surrounded with some younger players getting an opportunity to play.
Overall, Pittsburgh has lost 8 consecutive games. 2 outs. LaRoche at first. And this is pop fouling out of play. 1-2 the count. Yolis Chacín at 21. One of the youngest players in Rockies history. Only 3 players have made their debut at a younger age. Marcus Carvajal at 20. Roberto Mejia at 21 and change. Jamie Wright at 21 and change. And then Chacín. Next on that list would be Franklin Morales. Here's the 1-2. Juan Uribe made his debut at 21, and so did Troy Tulowitzki. You know, it's interesting. Tulowitzki made his debut almost 3 full years ago. Isn't that
That's
something?
hard to believe.
Yeah. And another full count. So Chacín, I don't know if it's nerves or probably a lot to do with nerves.
Yeah, a lot to do with nerves. I mean, that's why you're so close in 20 balls, 24 strikes. A little different role. but just not the command of really any of his pitches.
And that's ball 4. So now he's walked 2 in a row with 2 outs. And he's got the pitcher Ohlendorf coming up. Bob Apodaca is going to run out to the mound. 45 pitches in.
Yeah, and you're looking at that. We've already said that number somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 and no more than 75. So if he hopes to go 4 innings, he's going to have to get things down a little bit. But I mean, 4 3-ball counts already, 3 full counts, including the leadoff hitter, your last hitter, and Cedeno.
Well, everybody collectively knock on wood as I make this statement. One of the great keys to the Rockies' success this year has been the depth of their starting rotation. And they've had really a solid year out of Jason Hamill, and by and large a terrific year after a tough start by Jorge De La Rosa, who struck out 11 and got the win last night. 7 2/3, gives up just 1 run. And they've been able to roll that rotation out night after night. Cook and Jimenez, Jason Marquis, who's an all-star.
And that's where, to me, you knew tonight's game was going to be a bullpen night. So why not? I look back to yesterday's ball game and what Jorge was able to do, going 7 2/3. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah. Here's the 0-1, and the slider's in there for a strike. Help me out. Why after 2 walks did Ross Ohlendorf swing at that first pitch, which was off the plate by about 6 inches?
Because he's 3 for 42, hitting 071 this year.
All the more reason he should not be.
I agree with you. That was the best explanation I could come up with.
All right, and a comebacker, and Chacin will take his time and lob it to Todd Helton. So the 2 walks didn't do any harm. The double by Doman did. He comes around to score on a wild pitch. 1-0 Pittsburgh. $4.70 an express toll, the best way to save time and money. The Pirates, in a scheduling quirk, here in Denver for the 2nd time this year. The Rockies swept them in June. And after the ball game Thursday afternoon, Colorado will head to FLA, South Florida, to take on the very good Florida Marlins over the weekend. And then a day off Monday in our nation's capital. And we'll see the Nationals for 3 ball games playing their best baseball of the year. The Nationals have won 8 straight. Troy Tulowitzki, he had the 7 RBIs in the cycle last night against Ross Ohlendorf. He had a home run against Ohlendorf at Coors Field last time the Rockies saw the Princeton graduate.
I'm talking to Troy today. I said, okay, how many texts did you get? He goes, I don't know. My phone stopped working. It froze up. He goes, I had so many, I couldn't believe it.
And for Troy, if you're wondering, it was his first cycle ever at any level. Did he do it again? It's a pretty good start to the night. Another home run. What do you know? On an 0-2 pitch.
Come on.
Stop it. Troy Tulowitzki's 22nd of the year, and it's a 1-1 ball game. Pretty easy game right now.
You know what? It's like back in Little League for him. I mean, that's how easy it is. You get an 0-2 fastball, okay, 94 miles an hour. Try to work inside. Now, missed his location, bell high. And when they miss location now, he doesn't miss it.
My question is, was he this good in Little League? Remarkable.
It truly is.
Brad Hopp is 3 for 3 in his career against Ohlendorf, including a home run. Don't touch him, you'll get your finger burnt.
Or touch him, maybe a little bit of that'll rub off on you, and you'll start swinging the bat that way.
Yeah. Pick a strategy. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brad Hopp. Groove saying to him right now, you know what? Don't change anything. You're doing just fine.
Yep. Whatever you got working, keep it going.
That's a strike. That fastball missed at 96. I didn't know Ohlendorf threw that hard.
No, typically he's 90 to 95. Very, very rarely will he hit 96. Likes to sit right around the 93, 94 mile an hour mark.
Tuesday's Email the Booth night brought to you by Office Liquidators. Eric has one on Tulowitzki. What's behind Troy Tulowitzki's vastly improved offense after struggling at the beginning of the season? Well, I'll answer part of it, I think. Last year, he grinds. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. Last year, because of injuries, other reasons, his first half was not very good. Second half was very good. He hit 327 in the second half. Guy can hit.
He can. But to me, it goes to the mechanical changes he made. That is the thing where he's more of an upright stance, gets that toe tap going back and going forward. Early in the season, he was crouched over a little bit too much.
And this is one hopper to LaRoche. He makes a nice play. He's played good defense this year after a slow start to the season defensively. Perry Hill has done a great job helping him out, the infield instructor for the Pirates. 1 out. That'll bring up Ian Stewart. It'll take us to our Excel Energy fun fact. The Rockies have had 5 players hit for the cycle, beginning with Dante Bichette in 1998. It's the most of any team during that stretch. Washington, Houston, Arizona, the Giants, Minnesota, and Texas have had 3. The Pirates have the most cycles, interestingly, all time with 23. Passed a bunch of guys on the Rockies today. Hey, all right, you ever had a cycle any level? Ian Stewart said no, but I almost had one earlier this year against the Pirates.
Oh, that's right.
He was a single short of it. He had a double, triple, and a home run against the Pirates.
Forgot about that. Yeah, everybody to a man they talked to, they were like, well, I don't think so, or they had a tough time trying to remember if they had ever seen one before. Don Baylor said he almost had one, except for he had 2 home runs.
Big shot.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-1 on Stewart. 1 and 2. By the way, from Excel Energy, program your thermostat when you're on the road with the Rockies. You can save on cooling costs if you set your thermostat to 85 degrees when you're away. Learn more energy tips at responsiblebynature.com. Now, don't do that in the winter.
No.
Two and 2. For more on Tulowitzki's cycle, We visit again with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
Yeah, Drew, just a little bit more to what you were saying when you talked to Ian Stewart today about hitting for the cycle. I asked him what was it like in the dugout. You know, at what point do you stop being a player and a teammate and just become a fan again? He said it was an absolute blast. He goes, we knew every at-bat what he was going for, especially the at-bat in the 7th inning where he got the triple. He said, it's the first cycle that I've ever witnessed. He said, it's pretty cool. He said, I don't even know if I should say this, he told me. He goes, but it's cool to witness, even if it's a player from the other team. You're just happy for the guy. You want him to have success if he's going to go that far, guys.
All right, Stewart is thrown out by Delwyn Young. 2 outs in a 1-1 game, and here comes Clint Barnes. Barnes has a stretch going that has been difficult and also somewhat interesting in that the difficult part is he only has 4 hits over the last couple of weeks. Nobody wants to go through a period like that. Barnes is 4 for his last 54. However, all 4 hits have been home runs.
Kind of like feast or famine. A lot of famine, but there's a few feast in there with those home runs.
Barnes last night hit 1 out. The 16th of the year. Here's the home run from Barnes a night ago. It's Tom Gorzalani.
There's no doubt about that when it left the bat.
Home runs by middle infielders in baseball this year. Well, the Rockies as a team. Tulowitzki leads all shortstops with 22. Barnes has 16. He's among the leaders for second baseman. When you throw some of the other guys that have played out there, the Rockies have 45 home runs by middle infielders this year, 7 more than Toronto, who is next on the list. This is down the right field line, and it's fair. It's extra bases. And it was a foul ball. You know, Ian Stewart's played some second base also, and he's been known to hit the ball over the wall.
That helps.
Yeah. Windshield chips or cracked, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. Great crowd again at Coors Field. The Rockies played in front of 168,305 in that 4-game set for the Cubs. And the joint is jumping again tonight. And this ball is in the air to left field. Lastings Millage will move up and make the catch. In the inning, Troy Tulowitzki has done it again. A home run on an 0-2 pitch to even the count at 1. Dex knows August 11th, 1987. A's first baseman Mark McGwire breaks Al Rosen's rookie record by hitting his 38th home run The unanimous choice for Rookie of the Year will go on to hit 49 home runs, surpassing the big league record of 38, once jointly held by Frank Robinson and Wally Berger. Certainly looked like Andrew McCutchen offered at that. I guess not. Ball one.
I thought he did too. But it didn't matter what we thought. Chris Piccioni thought down at first base.
That's right. Most of the time it doesn't matter what we think.
They never ask us, do they?
2-0. McCutchen walked his first time up. 50 pitches in for Yolis Chacin. And that pitch is in there. 2-1. Well, McCutchen made his debut with the Pirates on June 4th. And despite missing the first 2 months of the season, that's a strike. He leads National League rookies in games played, at bats. They can't lead games played since June 4th, I should say. Runs, hits, doubles, RBIs, all of those tallies since June 4th. That doesn't mean overall, but over the last couple of months.
Well, and he's also started to get a lot more recognition for Rookie of the Year recognition.
And another walk. So Chacin has walked his fourth. He's given up only one hit. Aaron in Fort Collins writes in, you guys brought up that yesterday was the first time video review was used at Coors Field. What's your opinion about this new rule? Well, I have no problem with it to get a home run right. Here's the ball that was hit about 6,000 feet yesterday. The problem last night, and we have some of the best technicians in the business, and I'm not just, blowing their horn. I mean, we have great people in the truck, video-wise and everything else. You saw the sky in the background. It's similar to where it is, the way it is tonight.
Yep.
The baseball, a little Mississippi mud on it, blends in perfectly with the sky right now.
Yeah, and
nobody could see the baseball anymore.
Nope, that's the sky that we just saw that shot just a second ago. That's what you have to try to look at. Okay, try to find a ball in that area right there. It's going about 400, 500 feet out there and about another 200 feet up in the air.
So for home runs, I like it. I know last night it was inconclusive because you couldn't find the baseball. But I personally, I'm speaking just for me, I don't know where Jeff stands on this. I'm going to ask in a moment. I like it because to me, a home run's a home run. It shouldn't be an arbitrary thing.
Well, no, exactly. And then the other thing, too, is you get away from the long arguments out there with coaches, managers, whoever it is. And let's get the call right. I think that's the big thing.
1-2 on Millage, and Millage hits it off the end of the bat to Seth Smith and left, one out. And this is about the same time of night also.
Yep. This is the second inning last night.
Here are the rules on when you can use replay to determine fair or foul, fan interference, or ball leaving the playing field. Managers cannot demand a replay review. Decision to reverse a call made by the crew chief. And after review, crew chief will return to the field, signal final call, and reposition runners if necessary. The decision made by the crew chief is final, cannot be argued or protected by either team. And for those who say, oh, it takes forever, last night 4 minutes and 10 seconds. It's rare that it's utilized. First time ever at Coors Field. First time I can remember this year, a Rockies ball game.
Yep.
Or maybe it was the second or the
no,
first.
It was the first time.
Yeah. And then think of Lou Piniella the other day. He had a right to argue, and he got thrown out of the ball game. So he goes out there and does his routine for a couple of minutes. It's the same amount of delay.
Right. Well, and then I also look back, too, to the 07 season. Weren't there 3 home runs that year that the Rockies were disallowed, that they actually went over the wall, and especially in game 163, too.
I remember a conversation with Clint Hurdle, and I want to say Clint had it at 5 or 6 over maybe a 2-year period. And the Rockies lost every one of them.
Right.
2-0 right now on Garrett Jones.
I mean, I'm just thinking back to game 163 there where Garrett Atkins hit the ball over the fence. They didn't know it. It ended up being a double. There was one in St. Louis, another one in Cincinnati.
In the play-in game.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about,
yeah.
Game 163, yep.
Here's the 2-0, and it's 3-0.
I think you got to start.
This is not
Josh
like,
out.
yeah, this is not, and that's what's happening, right? As you said that. Fogg's walking to the mound. Yolis Chacin in the minor leagues, a very consistent strike thrower. Of course, you don't want to groove one to this guy because he has top shelf power. 12 home runs. And that's nowhere close. That's 5 walks allowed by Chacin. He's been a different pitcher tonight than we've seen when he's come out of the bullpen.
No, he really has. He just hasn't, to me, been as aggressive. And really going right at him, pounding the strike zone with the fastball and the slider. It looks like he's more tentative now.
And with all due respect to the Pirates, this was an ideal situation if you had to go to an emergency starter. For me, because you don't want to face the Phillies as a 21-year-old kid. I mean, there's
or even
no
the
break.
Cubs.
Or the Cubs. There's really no break in their lineups. This lineup, a lot of young players, a lot of guys that really haven't truly established themselves.
Some free swingers, some guys that are still learning the ropes at the big league level. So you're right, Drew. This was a ideal setup for Jim Tracy to be able to have him start tonight. But now you're looking at 63 pitches into the ball game. You got to try to hopefully get a double play ground ball off the bat of Doman. Otherwise, this might be his last hitter, or maybe one more after that. And
Doman, for me, is the scariest hitter in their lineup. A year ago, when he was healthy, he hit .318, 15 home runs, drove in 69. He can rake. He hit a double his first time up. He takes a strike.
And you know you got speed out at second base in McCutchen. So if he gets a base hit, there's no sense even trying to throw home. Go ahead and throw ahead of the back runner and Garrett Jones.
Doman hit in the minor leagues also. 298. McCutchen takes off, and they'll throw behind, and that's going to skip into center field. Here comes McCutchen. So Iannetta with a throwing error. And the Rockies are down 2-1. So 2 stolen bases is how you score that. And then an error on Chris Iannetta, allowing McCutchen to score and Jones to end up at third.
Well, just bad execution. They knew they were throwing behind the runner because you figure McCutchen's already going to get third base stolen. There's no doubt about that. So you go ahead and throw to second base. Well, unfortunately, that ball skipped into center field.
Now the infield comes in 1-2. And now what you have to hope for, honestly, is either an Adam ball in the infield or a punch out of Doman. Steve Pearce is on deck. Pirates still have only 1 hit, with 5 walks allowed. And this ball topped to second. And Barmes looks the runner back and makes the play. So the infield can drop back, and Steve Pearce will come up. Pearce in his first at bat had a broken back ground ball to third.
We got the execution what you wanted. You wanted that ground ball, like you mentioned, Drew, that Adam ball to Clint Barmes, and Garrett Jones over at third base. Not the quickest guy, so he couldn't take off. You can make a pitch here. Get Steve Pearce be out of this inning, only giving up 1 run after a couple walks. That would be not bad. But this will have to be it for him too. I mean, because you look at it, he's got 68. The next pitch will be 69. They didn't want to go more than 75. He's due up second next inning. It might be an opportunity where he stays in just to have to bunt if Jorvik gets on.
I thought the ideal combination going into the ball game for Chacin and Fogg was to have them work 7 innings and hopefully depart with a lead.
Yeah, 4-3, 3-4, however it was going to work out. Maybe 5-2 if you're real lucky.
Here's the 2-0 on Pearce. That's not close. So Chacin again, maybe battling nerves in his first career start. But this is certainly not the guy that we've seen work out of the bullpen in his first couple of weeks as a big leaguer, and not the guy that worked in the minor leagues for the Rockies. And that is walk number 6. And Jim Tracy's hand is forced. He's going to have to go bring in Josh Fogg. 6 walks for Yolis Chacin in 2 2/3. And the guy who's going to take the baseball from him is the perfect mentor to have the right words. It's not all going to come right there on the mound, but later on, or maybe tomorrow, he'll visit with Chacin, and the kid will be okay. He's 21.
That's the thing you got to keep in mind.
So Yolis Chacin walks off. 2-1 Pirates. Back in a moment. For Yolis Chacin, and I'm sure he wants to forget about it, but he's going to have many more, and he's going to have a lot of success. He's got too much talent not to. So he'll give way to the veteran guy, Josh Fogg, the former Pirate. This call to the pen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. The only wrench in this is that Chacin was more stretched out than Fogg in terms of the ability to throw 70, 75 pitches. Fogg probably more in line of 40 to 50 pitches.
Yeah, but he's a veteran guy. He might be a guy that somehow you're going to have to grind out 70 pitches out of him. Just figure out a way how to do it. With Yolis only going 2 2/3.
Getting out here, and he will. Carlos Gonzalez going back. Maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. He leads. He can't make the catch. Delwyn Young off the center field wall, and 2 runs are going to score on that triple. Boy, the way he went back, I thought he had it the whole way.
No, I would agree with you. I didn't think that it was going to go that far. Yeah, it was hit solid, but it was so high. And Carlos really never broke after this ball. Yeah, he kind of goes back a little bit, but then he got turned around. That was a problem because he was looking one way, got turned around completely, and then went off his glove. And that wall was closing in a hurry, and that only came about a foot and a half from going out, though.
Off the bat, I thought that would be somewhat routine. And Gonzalez really never gave any indication that it was going to be anything but that. He kind of cruised back, which is his style. And then it just kept carrying and carrying. So the book is closed on Chacin. Unfortunately, he gives up 4 runs, 2 2/3 on just 1 hit. He walked 6, though.
Yeah, 3 of them came around to score.
And the Pirates have 4 runs on 2 hits. Well, this is obviously uncharacteristic of the Rockies. It's the first time they've had to move out of their normal rotation in forever.
Well, and the other thing too is it's not what you want to do against a young team that's been struggling out on the road. Give them a little bit of breathing, give them a little bit of life, where they feel like, wait a second now, we might have a chance I know it's early, but it's 4-1. This is the first time they've been winning out on the road in a while.
Well, it's 3-1 on Andy LaRoche. Most pitches Fogg has thrown in a ball game this year, 49. That came June 24th in Anaheim against the Angels. Got to get LaRoche here. You don't want to fall 4 runs down. And that's 7 walks. First for Fogg. That'll bring up Ronnie Cedeno, the former Cub. And most recently, Seattle Mariner. Jim Tracy doesn't want to look right now. And it's the first time he has dealt with anything ugly. I mean, the Rockies lose games like every other team, but they don't usually beat themselves. And right now, they're beating themselves.
Yeah, with all the walks, you don't even give your defense a chance. It goes back to what I always tell my kids at 13 is you can't defense a walk, you know.
Ed writes in, when a player is brought up or a trade is made, how much input does the manager have on the move? I think it depends on the organization. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Sometimes they have a lot, other times not as much.
Helton could have gone after that, and he didn't. And that was kind of a miscommunication. Todd could have had that baseball.
Yeah, but what's happened? There's been 7 walks in the ball game, so we always talk about it conversely. When guys kind of get back on their heels a little bit, not sure when the ball is going to be put in play. I mean, I'm not defending Todd because he should have gone after and gotten that ball. I'm just telling you what happens as a fielder after so many balls that have been not put into play or walked or whatever it is, that you kind of fall asleep a little bit.
It's almost as if he thought Barmes was over that way, and in fact he was positioned more up the middle.
Right.
So he had no chance. And another run comes home. It's 5-1 Pirates. And they really haven't hit the ball. I mean, the ball obviously off the center field wall was tagged pretty good. And now Ross Ohlendorf at the plate. As the Pirates have hit around here, and this is getting even sloppier. Wow, this is like the Cubs play.
Yep.
Rockies need, if this was hoops, the Rockies need a full timeout.
Yeah, just try to regroup, regather yourself. They tried to get the pick off at second base. One more look on it, kind of the jump spin throw. No, I've never seen that one before. Not where you do it that way. You'll do the inside move or the spin move, but not a jump and then not even step to where you're throwing.
I have never seen that before.
I have not seen that jump move.
And now 2 in scoring position for Ohlendorf, who actually has a hit in 2 of his last 3 outings, despite a very poor average. The Rockies now have made 2 errors. Finally, the inning is done. The Pirates score 4 runs. Ugly inning. the ugliest inning they have played all year, and they haven't played many ugly innings. They have 7 walks already in the game. Their season high is 9. That came in mid-April against the Cubs on the road at Wrigley. So the 7, the second most they've allowed this year. They committed 2 errors in the inning. And maybe it will serve as a wake-up call.
I think it will. It should anyway, because you talk about trap games, trap series, whatever it is. In other sports, you look at this on paper, there's no way, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, you still have to come out and you have to compete. You still have to do it. The fortunate thing is you still got a lot of at-bats left. You're only down by 4 runs, but you got to stop the walks. Plain and simple, because that puts the defense on their heels.
Rockies do not have an off day again till Monday, and this game could tax the bullpen. 1 strike count on Chris Iannetta, who did a lot of work with Don Baylor over the last couple of days as Yorvi Torrealba did the catching. 5 runs, just 3 hits for the Pirates. Two and one.
What Don was working with Chris is making sure that he wasn't getting too close at the plate with his foot. Going right towards the pitcher.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Iannetta, hitting in front of Josh Fogg. Rockies' run came on a solo home run from who else? Troy Tulowitzki on an 0-2 pitch, leading off the second. And a base hit for Iannetta.
I think the best way to guarantee your opportunity to purchase 2009 postseason tickets or to make a 2010 season ticket deposit or purchase the stretch run ticket package. Now accepting $250 per seat deposit for the 2010 season. The stretch run package has all the remaining games this season at a discounted price, but it's a limited time offer. Offer ends August 31st. Call 303 Rockies to reserve yours today.
Josh Fogg at the plate. Looking down at Richie Dower. Iannetta at first with nobody out. So it's great to see all that hard work that Chris has put in over the last couple of days, and you get instant return on your investment.
That's what you're always looking for when you've done all the hard work. You've had 2 days off. You've been all in the cage as much as you have. Extra batting practice. All that by that man right there, Don Baylor. And then you break down the video. You go out in your first game back, first at bat, get the base hit.
That's a good looking bump by Fogg, and the tag is made by Steve Pearce. So Iannetta to second. Three unassisted on the sac bunt. Seth Smith coming up. He singled back in the first. Which series are going to be tough for the Rockies coming down the stretch? Question from Chris. Well, you know, starting with the next road trip, you go to Florida. That'll be very difficult. The Marlins have the second best record since early June to the Colorado Rockies in the National League. They're 10 games over 500, 34-24 since June the 4th. And then the matchups with the Dodgers, the matchups with the Giants. This ball pulled, and Elwin Young makes the play. Moving to third base is Chris Iannetta with 2 outs.
Yeah, you know what? To me, though, all of the games are tough now. I can't sit here and say one series is more difficult than the other one, because the 3 games here are very difficult because you're playing a team that's not very. You're supposed to beat them. Then you go on the road, as you mentioned. And then if you start overlooking Washington because you say, hey, we've got the San Francisco Giants for 4, LA Dodgers for 4, they'll jump up and they'll get you. So to me, there's a lot. Every single game coming down the stretch, where you are in the standings, is going to be a tough game.
Good point. Carlos Gonzalez takes ball 1. And I think players, particularly veteran players, understand that. And it doesn't matter how often we in the media want to say, hey, this is a big series. Yeah, they understand when the Giants roll into town, heighten importance, but they also know, let's say you go sweep the Giants and then blow 3 in a row against, say, the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Washington Nationals. You haven't gained anything.
All your hard work is right out the window. So that's why, to me, you have to stay focused on each and every game from here on out.
2-0 on Carlos Gonzalez. And Gonzalez lifts it down the left field line and out of play. Two balls and a strike. Alexis writes in after the official score makes a decision. What would cause him to change his mind? Typically, if he reviews the video some more, and they have 24 hours to completely change their mind. And to be truthful, Alexis, every once in a while, you will get a call if your official score from, at home, from the home club, somebody potentially in management. Every once in a while, a player. And typically would be a rookie player, but a veteran player may call up. A veteran player you may call up for a teammate.
Well, and then the other thing, the official score can go down to the manager or somebody like that and say, hey, what do you think about that? I mean, you give me your opinion, so the official score will also go downstairs and ask the parties involved sometimes, because they have 24 hours to change their call if they would like.
2-1, and this is in the air to deep left field. Millage going back, leaping, and he made the catch. Lastings Millage made the catch and took a run away from the Rockies, maybe 2. Nice grab. Millage, who will bat second here in the 4th inning, made a wonderful catch to rob Carlos Gonzalez. Hard to tell if that ball was going to go out. It was going to be close.
One of those calls, though, but he got back there. He tracked that ball very well off the bat. That allowed him to get back there and then time his leap right at the right time.
McCutchen pops it to shallow right, and the catch is made by Brad Hopp. Nice sliding grab by Hopp.
You know, when that ball was first hit, I didn't think he was going to be able to get to it. I thought it was going to be a tweener in between Clint Barmas and Brad Hopp, but he keeps coming hard. makes the slide, the one-hand grab right out in front of him, keeps his eye on the ball the whole time. And then you have to make sure from the Hyundai cam, watch his wrist and everything when he hits, how hard he goes down into the ground there, but he's able to keep that wrist stiff to keep it, the ball from popping out of there.
Lasting's Millage, who made that catch, is at the plate. And he lines one to right center field. Here comes Brad Hopp again. Another sliding grab. Maybe the degree of difficulty not the same as the first one, but a fine play nevertheless by Hopp. 2 gone.
And going over to his side makes it a little bit easier when you go to slide, because now you're sliding kind of in towards the ball itself. And that's more what you would do on the bases than the other way around. But both plays are very, very fine.
Garrett Jones will come up. He's 0 for 1 and a walk. Jones takes ball 1. He's the only player in the big leagues with 100 or more at bats and a higher slugging percentage than everybody but Albert Pujols. He's got a slugging percentage of .642. Albert's at .681. All those home runs. That cuts inside 2-0. So the Pirates since last summer have made 16 has seen 16 players shipped out for 30 new players. Now a lot of those guys are in the minor leagues. Hopefully from the Pirates perspective will one day impact their big league roster. But this is a club that has not been above 500 since 1992. That's low. When they won the National League East back before there were 3 divisions.
You know who's been busy over there besides the GM and all that? The equipment guy, getting all the uniforms for all these new guys.
We were kidding the other day, and I was talking to their equipment guy today. I said, for John Russell, this ball lined to left field, wanted to put a hat on everybody. That was misread, I think, by Smith. It's going to be a double. Want to put tape on the hat, I should say, of everybody. It's just like you do in football.
Yep.
First day, 2-a-days. All right, there's Houston. There's Smith.
There's Goodman. Okay, who else do we have new now?
Right.
Well, Seth didn't get a good read on this ball. Jones hits it hard the other way, and he turned the wrong way. And then once you do that, you're really not going to have a chance to get that ball. And Josh has struggled against his former team. Team that he won 10+ games for numerous times.
Ryan Doman at the plate. He takes ball 1. Doman a double and a run scored in the second, and a ground ball to Clint Barnes. '92 when they won 96 games. That ended that 3-year run where they won 95, 98, 96. First place in the East. 3 straight years for Jim Leyland. This is high in the air to deep right center field. Long run for Gonzalez, and he gets back there and makes the catch. So Jones left at second. It's 5-1 Pittsburgh, middle of 4, helping to lead it off. Let's send it down to Alana Rizzo with tonight's Great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. You already mentioned that Ross Ohlendorf went to Princeton, but I bet you didn't know this. He majored in operations research and financial engineering. Now, his senior thesis was where he used sabermetrics to demonstrate the return on investment from the Major League Baseball draft. I don't even know what sabermetrics are. Now, did you guys have to do any sort of senior thesis? If you did, I guarantee you it wasn't as academic as that one.
You know what? I'm trying to think of a witty response.
So that's a no.
Mine wasn't either. Believe me. I don't even know what sabermetrics are. Do you guys?
Well, yeah, sabermetricians are guys that use statistical analysis
look at
to
how smart you are.
Figure out.
Don't encourage him, Alana.
The game of baseball and what may or may not occur. And I'll give you one of the great sabermetricians that we know is Bill James. We don't know him personally, but Bill James writes about all the time, and he's a fascinating author, and he's the one who came up with that it's a myth that the guy who hits behind you influences what you do. And though you played the game, Jeff, and I know sometimes guys who played say, I don't care what the stats should say, I got more fastballs when Todd Helton was hitting behind me.
Right.
That may be true, but statistical analysis suggests that it really doesn't make a difference.
Right.
2 balls and 2 strikes. I just thought of that one. I read some.
Well, we just saw yesterday Sam Fold for the Cubs is getting his master's in statistics. From Stanford, and then of course Ohlendorf from Princeton.
A lot of smart guys play this game, and in all seriousness, you cannot be a loghead and play baseball.
No, because there's so many different variables that you have to think about that come into play.
Three and 2 on Helton, riding a 15-game hitting streak. Todd's best run since 2003. It's too shy of his career best. Strike 3. Helton's gone. Ohlendorf has his first punch out, and that's the first time Todd has struck out in 52 at bats.
And he knew it.
Alex writes in, I'm curious to know if there are any active big league players with anything more than a bachelor's degree. Are there statistics that list educational achievement for big league players? The percentage of guys with their bachelor's degree, believe it or not, is very low. And one of the reasons is that a lot of guys who go to a 4-year college get drafted after their junior year. And those that don't, if they're good enough, are going to get signed after their senior year. And sometimes because of the rigors of playing a varsity sport, don't get your degree in 4 years.
Yep.
And therefore they have to go off if they sign. And now they're reporting to minor league camp, and sometimes it takes a while to finish. Well, and you were a great case. I mean, you got your degree, but it wasn't right after you left the University of Wyoming.
Because what happens is you go out and play for a while. Say you play 6 or 8 years. It's pretty tough to go back to college at that point, because you think about it, you're 30 years old. So going back to college is not your first option. A lot of guys, what you're seeing now, though, is after they get done playing, they'll go back and somehow try to finish up with online courses or whatever it may be.
Tulo fouls it off at the plate. Tulowitzki has provided the Rockies with their only run, a home run in the 2nd inning. He's picking up where he left off last night, Jeff.
Yes, he is. And he's just making pitchers pay for mistakes when they're throwing it over the wrong part of the plate or missing their location. He is not missing the pitch.
No, he's not. 2 and 2 with 1 out. Tulowitzki's played the Pirates 17 games. He has a hit in 17 games. 3 and 2.
But that's a pitch right there when you're going as well as Troy is, that you just say, nah, I don't want it. I start to go after it a little bit, but no, I see it's going to be a slider down from the side. I mean, those hands go forward, but the barrel of the bat does not even come close to going across the plate.
Here's the 3-2. And Tulowitzki bounces it to second. So Ohlendorf has retired the first two in the fourth inning, and that'll bring up Brad Hopp. Rockies won 11-5 yesterday, pounded out 16 hits. They scored 33 runs in the 4 ball games against the Chicago Cubs. Brad hit a broken bat one hopper to LaRoche at third, his first time. 2-0.
All kids through the gates on Sunday, August 23rd, will receive a backpack courtesy of 850 KOA and American Family Insurance. Get your tickets to this game against the Giants at all the usual places, including ColoradoRockies.com.
Three 3-0 on Brad. And that pitch is in there. Doug's done a little research, and one study, and it's not real recent, but July of 2005, at that point in time, that's 4 years ago, understandably, 42 big league players had their degree. 3-2 now.
42 active players.
Yeah, I had heard, that was 05. I had heard around only 6%.
Wow. But it goes back to your point, though. It's very difficult in 4 years when you're playing a sport to get your degree during that time.
And a 1-2-3 inning for Ohlendorf as he gets a couple of strikeouts in the inning. 5-1 Pittsburgh. Is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Now at Hyundai Assurance, buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex in print and online at dexknows.com. Gorgeous view of the skyline of Denver. Right now the Rockies trailing 5-1. And this ball to the second baseman, Barmes, and he flips to first. Steve Pearce is retired on the second pitch of the fifth inning. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, and Alana Rizzo tonight from Coors Field. That'll bring up Delwyn Young. Eric has an email question. What is a natural cycle? Is it more meaningful than a regular cycle? I don't know if it's more meaningful, but a natural cycle would be single in your first at bat, say double, triple, home run. You did it in order.
I don't think either one would be bad.
No. I talked to a bunch of guys, I'm sure you did today and asked him, did you ever have a cycle anywhere? There's a base hit for Young. Young runs pretty well. Gonzalez gets over. Young will stop at first base. Ryan Spilborgh's had one when he was in Double-A with Tulsa. Garrett Atkins seems to think he had one in a regional against the University of Oklahoma when he was playing for UCLA in college. Helton had one in the big leagues. One of the 5 now cycles for the Rockies. Todd's cycle really quickly came against the Marlins in 1999.
Yeah, Jim Tracy said that he never seen one, at least that he could remember. So, I mean, there was a lot of guys trying to jug their memory, jog it, to say, hey, have I seen one before? I don't know, maybe. And that's just how rare it is.
Fogg 27 pitches into his work in relief of Yolis Chacin, who gave up 4 runs. Despite giving up just 1 hit. 2 2/3, 4 runs, 1 hit. You say, what happened? 6 walks is what happened.
It really just set the tone for this ball game from the first batter on. It just seems like, yeah, we're in the top of the 5th inning, but it's just been a very slow moving game. Not a whole lot of energy, not a whole lot of life to it.
No, and maybe because of that, you never want to make an excuse, but the Rockies have played shoddy defense.
Yep. And they played like that. I mean, they have. They played like they're on their heels. They played like, you know what, they don't have a whole lot of energy right now, because we always say that the starting pitcher, he's the one that sets the tempo of things. Well, you at least just didn't set the tempo tonight.
Yeah, and the only way to turn this thing around is it's going to have to happen with the bats.
Yep.
To get some energy back. 2 hops to Stewart. There's 1, and a good job getting the spikes out of the ground on Clint Barmas.
Smart play from Clint Barmas. Just get that out because it wasn't hit hard, and get out.
Time for our Affleck trivia question. Here's the duck. Here's the question. Troy Tulowitzki had 7 ribbies last night. The Rockies' record for ribbies in a game is 8. It's been done 4 times. Who are the 4 Rockies to have an 8 RBI ball game? Ronnie Cedeno a walk and a single. Infield hit that drove in a run. This Pirate team has lost 8 straight, 5 in a row on the road, 7 in a row at Coors Field. And that's back up the middle for a base hit. And that'll bring up Ohlendorf again. They've done a very good job of flipping the lineup over, because Cedeno out of the 8-hole keeps reaching.
And that's what you always want to do. You want to try to flip that lineup no matter what happens with 2 outs, to get that pitcher up that inning, so you have the top of the order to lead off. When you're talking to the top of the 5th inning and the pitcher's already been up 3 times now, I mean, that just shows you how things have gone sour for the Rockies so far.
And a strike on Ohlendorf. We take a look at our Quest high speed pitch tonight. Ohlendorf's hit 96. Josh Fogg's not a flamethrower. He's hit 89. That's brought to you by Quest high speed internet. And Fogg with a disappearing slider. It's 0-2.
Just throw him one more, be done with him, try to get that offense going. Don't mess around.
And he strikes out Ohlendorf. Couple of hits, couple of men left in the inning. Middle of 5, the Rockies with work to do. They're down 5-1 to the Pirates. fastest 3G network, AT&T, your world delivered. Bottom of the 5th inning, Ian Stewart, Clint Barmas, Chris Iannetta to face Ross Ohlendorf. And Ross Ohlendorf has not won on the road since May 18th in our nation's capital when he beat the Nationals. Went 5 innings that game. It's not like he pitched great. He gave up 5 runs on 6 hits. But the Pirates scored a dozen that night. Ohlendorf on the road, 2-6 with a 5.61 ERA. At home, 7-2 with a 3.18 ERA. But right now he's in control. 1-1 the count on Ian Stewart.
Well, Ross really does something different than a lot of other pitchers. He has the ball by his side. He doesn't have it in his glove or behind his back. He just waits by his side, gets a sign, and then comes up and gets going.
Then a ground ball to the right side. Nice little exchange there between Pierce and Ohlendorf. 6 in a row set down by Ohlendorf. I'll bring up Clint Barmas. A reminder that our friends at Taco Bell make it real nice for dinner when the Rockies have a big offensive ball game. When the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations between 4 and 6 the following day. Get 4 tacos for $1. Always check stores for details. I'm sure a lot of folks headed to Taco Bell this afternoon after the Rockies scored 11 last night, beating up the Cubs 11-5.
Well, those 7 runs were thanks to Troy. You got a lot of people tacos yesterday.
You know, the series was big fun for the Rockies. They not only won 3 or 4, they very easily they blew a lead in the game they lost and fell 6-5. Could have swept a pretty decent Chicago Cubs team. But Jim Tracy said after the ball game, after he had plenty of kind words for naturally Troy Tulowitzki and Jorge De La Rosa, and he said afterward yesterday, and he said it again today, he said, hey, great series, time to move on. We have to play the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a line drive to center field by Barmas is caught. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Well, there's Garrett Atkins. And Garrett was right, sort of. He did have a cycle in college. It was in an NCAA regional. He thought it came against the Sooners. It came against the Blue Hens of Delaware.
It was close, so he still came away with the cycle. And that's all that matters.
May 27th, 2000. So naturally, I had to give him a hard time. I said, what happened? Was there a train wreck in the outfield on the triples? Come on, I used to run all right. He goes, the right fielder fell.
Okay. There had to be something. Take a look at that last pitch from the Hyundai Cam. Just you wanted to be a catcher, huh? Well, that's what you're going to get sometimes. You're going to get the foul tip off the mask and then more importantly off that shoulder. You're trying to get a little sweat off the eyes, but make sure that hand numbness goes away.
Oh, 2 on Iannetta. Ohlendorf with just 69 pitches here deep in the 5th inning.
And that's been the one thing for him that's gotten him in trouble this year. Is throwing a lot of pitches and not being able to go as deep into the ball game. His last outing, 5 2/3 through 99 pitches. He's thrown 114 once this year. He's been very economical so far.
And this is a redirect to second, and Iannetta beat it. So Chris is 2 for 2. A ricochet off of Ohlendorf. He's walking around like he's okay. Ball was hit hard again by Chris Iannetta.
Well, he stayed on the breaking pitch from Ohlendorf, hit it right back up the middle. And then Delwyn Young just could not change directions quick enough and then get the throw off. Went right back up between the legs of the pitcher, and I think it went off the mound. Went off the mound or part of Ross Ohlendorf's leg just a little bit, slowed that ball up, changed directions.
So Josh Fogg up for the second time. He had a sack bunt. His first time up. He's got to swing the bat here with 2 outs. Rockies with a record of 62-50. The 62 wins after 112 games. The fastest the Rockies have ever arrived at 62 wins. Going back to their inception in 1993. Jim Tracy managing against his former club, the Pirates. I asked him earlier, I said, all right, how many guys did you have your hands on that are still left in a Pirate uniform? He said, man, not many. And, he looked around, did a mental note. He had McCutchen in spring training, and he was well aware of Andrew McCutchen. He loves the kid. Some of the pitchers, Meek and Caps and Maholm, I should say.
No, but a lot of the other guys that you would think you would have are gone, though.
Yeah, Doman's the catcher.
McLeod, Bay, Wilson, Sanchez, all the guys we've talked about earlier in the broadcast. Those were all part of his team when he was there.
He basically could take the front part of the Pittsburgh Pirates media guide and throw it in the trash.
Use it for
because
firewood, whatever you want.
Most of those guys aren't here. Two and two on Fogg. A reminder that if you have windshield issues, call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. Great crowd again. I mean, the upper deck in right field is filled up. The rock pile's filled up. The outfield seats left and center filled up. And Fogg is gone. Ohlendorf with his 3rd strikeout of the night. 5 innings complete. Not pretty right now. 5-1 Pirates. Tulo last night, 7 ribbies. The team record is 8. Been done 4 times. Named the 4 Rockies to produce 8 RBIs in a ball game. If you had the big cat Andres Galarraga, give yourself a pat on the back. If you had Larry Walker, another pat. Ronnie Belliard, that's a tough one.
Yeah, you're a true Rockies fan if you would have got that one.
Yeah, and Matt Holliday, not surprisingly on that list.
Nope.
Ronnie Belliard can hit. We'll see Ronnie next week. Still with the Nationals. More of a role player now. Seen the opponent have a couple of 9 RBI games against the Rockies. Not 8, 9. Sammy Sosa, we discussed it last night. McCutchen takes inside ball 1. James Loney 2 years ago had a 9 RBI game here.
So far, Josh has come in and done what he needed to do. He'll be very economical with his pitches. 37 pitches so far. Get one more, maybe an inning and 2/3 out of him. That'd be a pretty good outing. Get that bullpen so it's not too taxed moving forward.
He's behind McCutchen 3-0. McCutchen has already walked twice in the game. And now he's walked the third time.
And the one thing McCutchen has not done the first few times that he's gone on is to try to steal a base right away. He's been very patient over there, but the 5-1 lead in the 6th inning, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to steal him, try to hit and run, do something to create some more holes out there.
Rockies have walked 8 in the game. That is so uncharacteristic. The Rockies are among the best in baseball in limiting their walks. Their pitching staff second to the Cardinals coming in the National League in fewest walks allowed. There goes McCutchen, and that is not even going to venture a throw. Stolen base for McCutchen is 11th, his second tonight.
You could just see that coming. That's why I talked about it. Going out there and the jump that he got, and as fast as he is, I'm surprised he hasn't tried to steal more bases. Only stealing 9 or 10 bases now on the season.
As fast as he is, he doesn't need to have a great jump.
He doesn't, and that's what, to me, here's a guy that probably at this point should have 25 stolen bases or 30.
Lasting's Millage slices one to right. That is a fair ball. McCutchen's going to score, and Milledge's going to have himself a triple. 6-1. As I said recently, this is just an ugly ball game from the Rockies' perspective.
I mean, trying to hit the ball to the right side, you get that base runner over to third, and he does even more than that. Drives it to the right field line. It goes off the wall, kind of skips around. Brad tries to just get it and get the ball back in. Goes off the end of his glove before he's able to get it in. But now you got to bring the infield in with the number 3 hole hitter up. And you got to play, you're going to play a little bit deeper, but you also have to realize that Lasting's Millage has a little bit of speed at third base.
Garrett Jones at the plate. Inside on Jones. Yeah, Jones has had a really nice 5 or 6 weeks in the big leagues. But he's not 22 or 23. He's 28.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes guys arrive late. Tulowitzki holds Millage. Good play. 1 out. That is not being scored a triple. It's being scored a double, by the way, on Millage, and an error on Brad Hopp, allowing Millage to go second or third. So the Rockies have committed 3 errors tonight. That is, I can't tell you how uncharacteristic that is. 3rd error this year on Garrett.
Going to go along with the 8 walks. I mean, it's just.
It's going to be 9 here because they're going to put Ryan Doman on. Third time this year the Rockies have committed 3 errors in a game. There's ball 4. Let's check another email. This from James. And it has to do with Todd Helton's mitt. Why is the first baseman's glove different than every other infielder's glove? Well, his job is he's like a catcher out there. I mean, he's receiving the baseball from the other infielders, so you want as long a glove as is allowed, and one with significant padding.
Well, and also flat on one side, so you can work along the ground and get underneath balls when they're in the ground, and you have to pick the ball, all those things that we talk about, and that's why his glove is different. And if you think you can take that glove anywhere else out of the field, that's a no-no. You can't take it to the outfield. You can only use it at first base.
By rule.
By rule.
So we always learn something we didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Quickly, 2 strikes on Steve Pearce. Here's an interesting stat on Todd Helton. He had, coming into the week, and I know he's had 1 or 2 this week, he had 42, so let's call it 44 pickups. In other words, balls that he picked, you know, on low throws from his fellow infielders, the most in baseball this year. Strike 3 on the inside corner. So Steve Pearce is gone. That's out number 2 in the 6th inning. Runners at first and third. Delwyn Young will come up.
Well, hip side fastball from Josh Farr, trying to work it in, and that's exactly what he did. Steve Pearce thought he was going to throw something away, and he was looking out over the plate. That caught the inside part of the corner. To get back to your point for Helton just a second ago, that's just a huge advantage as an infielder when you have a guy over there, because you're not worried about once you catch it, when I make the throw, if it's not exactly perfect, is he going to be able to catch it?
Delwyn Young swings and misses. We follow the Rockies. We see every game they play. So naturally, we feel like, man, Helton picks the ball more than anybody else we see. And, you know, we see other first basemen, see the NL West first baseman, you know, 18, 19 ball games a year. But the statistics support,
bear it out,
you know, what we're seeing.
And the other thing is he does all that with ease.
Yeah.
It's not like he's falling all over the place, anything like that. He makes hard plays look very, very easy.
Foul back, and he credits his ability to do that to Buddy Bell, who worked with him. He used to stand at second base with a Funko bat. For watching this day after day, and he would hit line shots into the dirt right in front of Helton, and Helton had to pick him from, you know, 85, 90 feet away.
And that's a great way to try to get first baseman, especially on these nice fields at the big league level. I used to do it from second, I'd do it from short, and I'd also do it from third, so they had to read it off the grass.
Good block by Iannetta. Doman moves up. It's a wild pitch on Fogg. 1-2 on Delwyn Young. So in this ball game, the Rockies have walked 9. They have 2 wild pitches, 3 errors.
Not pretty.
Wow. You know, I guess one way of looking at it is get it all out of your system
one
tonight.
night. Yep.
You know, and they still have 12 outs to work with offensively. And the way this offense has been clicking, well, they're down by 5, but it's not insurmountable.
Well, the big key is somehow get Ohlendorf out of the ball game, because the one area that the Pirates have struggled has been into their bullpen. So you can get into that and get some things rolling that way.
And you know, their confidence and psyche is fragile. So if you can get this thing close, who knows what might happen to the Pirates late. Here's the 2-2. And now it's 3-2 on Delwyn Young. 2 for 3 tonight for Young, including a 2-run triple in the 3rd inning. That was a big swing of the bat. Again, off the bat, it looked like it was going to end the inning and be a fly ball to fairly deep center field. He just kept carrying and carrying and got over the head of Carlos Gonzalez. And it's hard to hit it over Carlos. 3-2 in the air to left field. Seth Smith will make the play. 2 men left in scoring position for the Pirates. They score another run on an RBI double by Millage. It's 6-1. Freeze cam. This catch by Lasting's Millage to rob Carlos Gonzalez of extra bases, perhaps a home run for the man aboard. That occurred to close the book, or occurred in the third inning and closed the book on the Rockies in the third inning. That was the Frostbrewed Coors Light Freeze cam. The Rockies will have the top of the order against Ross Ohlendorf in the sixth inning. Seth Smith is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Rockies down 6-1. And the fastball at the knees for a strike.
Well, you just got to try to chip away somehow. Still only down 5 runs. Couple base runners on, get a gapper, and just keep that merry-go-round running.
Schedule really favors the Rockies the rest of the way. They have 50 ball games left, including this one, 49 after tonight, on the ground to second. And the majority will be here at Coors Field. After tonight, 28 of 49 will be right here at Coors Field. The Rockies still have played the fewest home games in baseball, along with the Chicago Cubs. 1 out. Carlos Gonzalez coming up. David in Durango wants to know, is Mike Timlin coming up anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's down in Colorado Springs right now. He's just trying to build a little bit of arm strength up because he has not been doing anything baseball wise for the last 3.5 months or so. And yeah, he went to Casper for a few games, but now in Colorado Springs he's pitched 2 games there, 2 2/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. So it's a case, if anything, it would be in September before I think you'd see Mike Timlin.
Two O's in there, 2-1. Josh Fogg and Yolis Chacin. Tough night for the kid. The 21-year-old walked 6. Josh Fogg had to come on earlier than expected. This ball is ripped to right field and deep and gone. Long shot home run for Carlos Gonzalez. That's chipping away. It's now 6-2. Third home run for Gonzalez as he continues to swing the bat very well, Jeff.
Boy, that ball just got out in a hurry, Drew. I mean, you think about this swing and how quickly it got off. Garrett Jones out in right field thought he might have a chance to play this ball off the wall. Fastball, and he opened those hips up and just drove the barrel with a little leg kick and hit it right off the screws. Hyundai Cam will show just the direction of that bat through the zone and the full extension of Carlos Gonzalez.
And the fastball's high to Todd Helton.
Well, the thing that helped too is it didn't hit the auxiliary scoreboard. It just went about 5 to 7 feet as we're looking at to its left.
Thing was smoked.
Yeah, Hyundai Cam, that ball going over the wall, and you got to be careful back there because that thing hit very, very hard.
Joe Kerrigan's going to go to the mound for the first time tonight. 2-0 on Todd Helton. Carlos Gonzalez, just a different guy. In August, he's hitting .522. I like how he goes about his business. And I like how hard he's worked to get better.
And that's the thing. It's not just by happenstance that this has happened. He's had to do a lot of extra tee work into the cage and do a lot of work with Don Baylor. And those are pretty impressive updated numbers there since August 1st to think about hitting over 500 and hitting the ball hard, hitting it where it's pitched, laid a bunt down earlier in the ball game. All those little things are adding up to a pretty special player.
1 out. Helton with a 3-0 count. Tulowitzki on deck. And Ohlendorf gets one over the inside corner. It's 3-1. And Todd drives one high in the air to deep right field. Way back there off the top of the wall. Helton to second, and he's digging for third. And Todd's got himself a stand-up triple 2-game hitting streak to boot.
Well, third triple now on the season for Todd. He just jumped on this fastball from Ohlendorf. And that one he hit very, very hard. Not as much of a leg kick as we've seen from Todd. He got that foot down. Andrew McCutcheon tried to run it down, but that wall was closing in a hurry. And Todd saw everything that happened was in front of him. And Garrett Jones, all he could do was go over the right fielder and get that ball to get it back in.
1 out, 6-2 Pittsburgh. Tulowitzki at the plate. And it bounces up there. Right man at the right time, Troy Tulowitzki. Rockies hitting in the bottom of the 6th. Gonzalez got the crowd alive again with the line drive home run to the bullpen. And then Helton hit one about 415 feet off the top of the right center field wall.
And now after laying off that first pitch, now you can really zone in on a location that you want the ball.
2-0. Now you can make that zone even smaller.
That's right. Now you think about putting it on a tee, basically. You want to see that ball come in into that little window that you're looking at. And for Troy, it's something up just a little bit around the belt and on the middle to middle inside part of the plate. He just saw that the whole way. I mean, that's where it goes back, being ahead in the count, 2-0, and saying, I'm going to put this ball right where I want it. If it's not, I'm not even going to offer at it. That wasn't even close.
Now you're down 4 runs. Tulowitzki's as hot as anybody. But
no.
Being down 4 runs, 3-0, yay or nay?
No.
I agree with you. Create traffic. And he had the takes on.
And
3-1.
And that's a good point. That's why I wouldn't do it. Because so what? If he swings at it, something happens. But instead now, if he gets on by walking, or however, you got first and third, whatever it may be, I just didn't swing him right on the 3-0 on that count.
Line drive foul. That's where he likes the ball, up and away. And he drove it hard into the crowd. Homestead is hitting 450 with 9 ribbies.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think he's the early leader for the National League Player of the Week in 2 days.
Yep, I would agree with you. Took a deep breath. Staring down a 3-2 pitch with Helton at third. And a ground ball off of Ohlendorf, and he's going to get the out. Oh, man, you know what? He stayed in the middle of the field. Ohlendorf, with that 6'4", 235-pound body, just blocked it. Yeah, and I don't think he did it intentionally.
No.
His body just got in the way, and that saved a run.
He just couldn't get out of the way. Fastball away from Troy. Tried to get on top of it. Ohlendorf stuck his glove up and then had the presence of mind and then get the ball, check Todd over at third base before he went over to first base.
Unless it's a bullet at the corner infielders, that was the only place Troy could have hit the baseball and not have the run come home. So Brad Hoff, who's been extraordinary in his career with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, will be up next after they check on Ohlendorf. And Jose Asanio, is now getting loose in the Pittsburgh bullpen. As the Rockies been able to raise the pitch count the last couple of innings, it's now in the mid-90s.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I talked about earlier in the broadcast with Ohlendorf. He's thrown over 100 pitches just a handful of times this year, but if you can elevate his pitch count, get him out of there, that is when the Pirates become vulnerable because of that bullpen. Couldn't quite tell where that ball went off of him. Was it his hand or just the way he fell with his knee? Maybe his ribs where it hit him there. I mean, there's a lot of different areas that were exposed when he got turned, and he wasn't in the classic fielding position that you see a lot of pitchers get into when they deliver the ball.
Rockies would love to pick up Helton at third base. Make it a 3-run game with a third of the baseball game to go. Hop tonight. Ground ball to third and a punch out. Ohlendorf has struck out just 3 in 5 2/3. The outfield swung way over to left field. And they try to pitch him in that direction. I mean, the right fielder, Garrett Jones, is 2 area codes from the right field line.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they're pulled over as much as they are for Brad.
Now, if you go up there, Huey, and you glance out there, everybody does, glance out and see where the defense is aligned. Does that not tell you, if the guy has decent control, how they're trying to work you?
No, you might as well give you the map, because that's what they're showing you. They're going to pitch you away and play you away. So just look outer third of the plate.
And right now they're pitching around Hop. You have Stewart on deck. You start putting guys on with this Rockies lineup, where they have Thunder up and down the lineup, you can get burned in a hurry.
Well, you can, especially with the guy following him up in Ian Stewart, who's due to hit a home run.
He's got 18 of them. Brad was swinging 3-0.
See, and that was different there because there was 2 outs. And that's why you allow Brad Hop and an all-star to go ahead and swing in that situation.
He's got some ABs in the big leagues.
Yeah, and it was just different because of the number of outs with Troy and Brad. That's the only reason why you kind of flip-flop it there.
Ball 4. So Hop goes to first, and now Ian Stewart comes up with 2 men on. The next pitch will be number 100 for Ohlendorf. Stewart with 18 home runs, 53 driven in.
Well, John Russell's just trying to get him through this inning. Pitcher spot due up third next inning. Really, doesn't want to try to go and make a double switch or bring the pitcher in just for 1/3 of an inning of work.
Outside, ball 1.
That was pitch number 100 for Ohlendorf.
He's walked 1. That was Brad Hop a moment ago.
Well, you can see the 24 for this inning. This is the only inning really he's been in trouble.
Yeah, now they're doing the absolute reverse with Stewart. They're playing him as a dead pull hitter. Andrew McCutcheon in center field's playing very shallow. The left fielder, Millage, is 100 miles from the left field line.
And very deep, too.
But not McCutcheon in center.
No. Well, McCutcheon likes to go back on the ball easier than he has it come in.
Well, we all know if Stewart squares one up, go back all you want, you're going to run out of room. He was playing Pepper and BP with the upper deck.
You can just start to see the frustration on Ohlendorf's face, and that's why Doman went out there, because he had missed that location in the last pitch. Now he's falling behind 2-0.
Two outs, runners at first and third. You got 2 guys who've been around the block several times on base. You're down 4 runs. The last thing Brad Hop's going to do is fall for the fake third, throw to first. You better not, right?
Well, and especially with a guy that's been struggling a little bit, why would you even try a third to first move?
That is a strike, 2-1. Stewart drives one to deep left field. Millage going back, and he makes the catch. Well, he was positioned perfectly, as it turns out. That ball was driven to left center field. Millage was right there. Rockies get a run, 6-2. Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Just a couple of injury updates for our viewers at home. Alan Embry, I ran into him today. He had an x-ray on that right leg. He said it was awesome. So he was able to play catch today outside, and he's hopeful that he can be back with the Rockies by September. Also, Jeff Francis threw off the pitching rubber for the first time since his surgery today, and Jim Tracy told us earlier today that he will be on the trip to Florida and to Washington, D.C. as kind of a reward for all of the hard work that he's been doing and the progress that he is making. And you mentioned earlier Dexter Fowler had an MRI today. We will have those results for you guys in the Rockies post-game report. Drew?
All right, Alana, thanks for those updates. A 3-pitch strikeout of Andy LaRoche. Man, that's great news for a couple of pitchers. And Jeff Francis, I mean, coming rehabbing from surgery, and initially when Jeff started throwing, there's still pain because it's foreign territory for Jeff, and now he's worked through all of that, and to be able to throw 30 pitches today, 15 legitimately with the catcher behind the plate. Great news for Jeff Francis.
It is. Also Manny Corpus threw today too. He threw some flat ground, made some pitches from 60 feet today, so that was encouraging for the first time to see him go out there and throw.
Ronnie Cedeno takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Fogg, a couple years ago, he was known as the Dragon Slayer in the wonderful season of 2007. And tonight, I don't know what you'd call him tonight, but he's picked up the bullpen.
A warrior.
And he's a warrior because he's gotten his way through this. His longest outing in terms of pitches thrown this year was 29. Maybe it was a little more than that. I may be wrong on that. I thought it was 29. Anyhow, Jim Tracy said, anything above 40 would really be a reach for Fogg because he hasn't got deep. He's at 62 right now.
Yeah, and really just saved the bullpen so much, because even if you have to take him out in another hitter to whatever the situation may be, now you can piecemeal it into the rest of the ball game because you've got enough guys that could go an inning. And the other thing is you've got a Baldo going tomorrow, and here's a guy that can go deep into a ball game.
Yeah. This is a bouncer to third. Stewart on the move for a dart to help. It was not 29, I'm sorry. It was 49 pitches back in June against the Angels. Well, we have another email. I got to read it from here. Jeff, you've talked about a batter keeping his bat in the strike zone for a long time. Can you elaborate?
Well, what it means is when you go to swing the bat, that the barrel stays here right through the zone a long time instead of being in and out of the zone real quick. And the longer you stay here, the more that the bat stays, or the ball stays on the bat to help you drive the ball wherever it is. That it also increases your chance of getting a base hit because you cover the plate just a little bit more. And the neat thing about this is we had a chance today to go into the batting cage with Ryan Spilvorce and go over a little bit of hitting. So you got to tune in on Thursday, today game. That's okay, even if you're working. Flip it over because Ryan's going to give us a lot of good tips about hitting on Thursday. Very neat subject.
Set your DVR.
Yep.
And if you miss it during the day because you're doing something called work, you can catch it that night because we'll re-air the ball game that night. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and it's a neat thing too because he really breaks it down for the young kids at home. So your parents, are you wondering? Go watch it. Ryan Spilvorce.
Well, good inning for Josh Fogg, a 1-2-3 inning that included a couple of punch outs. Rockies will come up down by 4 at the bottom of the 7th. Expert Auto. To find great deals on used cars, visit ColoradoWheelsOnline.com or pick up a magazine at over 200 locations. By the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. Ross Ohlendorf still out there. This is his 104th pitch. It's high, ball one on Clint Barmas. Rockies had him on the ropes in the 6th inning. Home run by Gonzalez, triple by Helton. Hop walked with 2 outs. Stewart hit a bullet to deep left, but Lasting's Millage made the catch. 2-0 on Barmas. Barmas, Iannetta, and then a pinch hitter. Jim Tracy, big hug for Josh Fogg. Another gutty performance by a great competitor, Josh Fogg. 3-0. You surprised John Russell sent Ohlendorf back out?
Yeah, very surprised, because I thought, as I mentioned last half inning, that he was just hoping to get him through there because the pitcher spot was due up third last inning, and he sent him back out there. The most pitches he's thrown this year, 114th on May 23rd against the White Sox, and right now this next pitch will be 108.
Well, that pitch may have been out of the strike zone.
Just a little bit high. Clint tried to get up, get on top of it.
That was back in our neighborhood, not as close as last night's foul ball. Are you okay, by the way?
I'm fine. My foot's fine. Thank you. I got a lot of texts, emails today wondering how everything went. It's better today, though.
3-2, ball 4. So Barmas a leadoff walk. Iannetta striding the home plate. He's 2 for 2 tonight. One of the nice things from a matchup standpoint for Jim Tracy, he does not have to worry about John Russell tapping his left forearm because there ain't no lefties down there.
Well, and that's very nice when you're going up and down this lineup for the Rockies. And we've seen that with the San Diego Padres. They don't have any out there. John Russell doesn't have any out in his pen. So he needs to go and get Asensio, Jose.
6-2, back in a moment. Comes aboard. You see Ryan Spilborgh's getting ready to hit for Josh Fogg. First, Chris Iannetta will face Escanio. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast.
Escanio fastball 92 to 96 miles an hour. Changeup. It's right around 84. Occasional curveball and slider. Just called back from Indianapolis this past Friday. There's a starter down there. He's come back up here. He's working out of the bullpen.
Well, he has a great arm, but like a lot of young pitchers, he has battled some control issues at times. He's walked 9 and 17 in the third. He's given up 21 hits and 17 in the third. The league hitting .313 against him. Iannetta, 2 singles tonight in his return to the lineup. And it's 2-0. One of the nice things about Chris Iannetta, with many strong qualities, is he has a terrific eye. He is not going to expand that strike zone. And what you want when you're down by this many is traffic.
Exactly. And the other thing too is, you know, the pitcher's not hitting behind you, so you can be a little bit more patient if you need to. If they throw one in there, you can go ahead and take a hack, but you already know that Ryan Spilborghs is up behind you and has already grabbed a bat to get to the on deck circle.
Cliff Barmes right now has a lead that's going to allow him to get the second to break up 2, but it's not an extraordinary large. It's not steal a base type of lead.
No, but that's what surprised me by throwing over to first base. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
3-1.
You bring a reliever in that has a difficult time mastering the strike zone at times, and you're already ahead by 4 runs. Why divert his attention by throwing over to first base? Why don't you look at focusing right on the plate? Because the Rocky side, they're not going to try to steal a base and run themselves out of a potential inning.
Good swing by Iannetta. 3-2. Rocky's bench is short tonight. Dexter Fowler's not available. On the left side, you have Omar Quintanilla. You have Spilborghs, Atkins, and your number 2 catcher tonight, Torey Alba, on the right side. 3-2, and this one is also fouled off. Go to the third deck.
But even the foul balls that Chris is hitting right now have a little bit more direction when he goes to the swing the ball. Or swing the bat at the ball. I mean, you just see it. All the work that he's put in, now it's starting to pay off a little bit. Even with the foul balls, the bat's coming through the zone just a little bit quicker.
Foul tip, and it's held. So Escanio strikes out Iannetta for the first out in the 7th inning. Ryan Spilborghs coming up. Hal in Snowmass Village, Colorado. What is the rarest single accomplishment in baseball? Without thinking too deeply about it, my mind wanders to a perfect game. I mean, there haven't been many perfect games. What, 15 in the history? We just saw, was it 15 or 16?
15 or 16.
In the history of the game. Doug just flipped me a note on one that doesn't happen at all. 2 grand slams in an inning, and Fernando Tatis accomplished that in the Cardinals uniform.
So he's the only person to do that. But I can also throw in what happened last night. Is there's only been 2 guys that have turned an unassisted triple play at the big leagues and also hit for a cycle.
Yeah, to me, you know, that's matching up 2 different achievements in baseball. I agree with you. It's great, you know, crazy, but in terms of just one achievement, this ball is hit high in the air to right center field and deep. Did Spilborghs get it? Nope. Not quite. Two outs. That'll bring up Seth Smith.
Hey, join us for the 2009 Hal O'Leary Awards dinner on September 16th. This dinner honors disabled individuals who inspire our community. It takes place right here at Coors Field and has a Western theme, so get your boots and cowboy hats ready. For tickets or to be a sponsor for a table, call 303-312-2337.
Joe Beimel apparently will be next as Josh Fogg removed for the pinch hitter Ryan Spilborghs. Nice job by Fogg.
Yeah, it was to be able to go out there and give you 4 1/3 innings. Couple strikeouts here and there. Yeah, a couple walks, but he really gave that bullpen a rest, because now you get it. Now you only have to worry about getting 6 outs, because now Release and Josh will be
down the line. That's a fair ball. Barnes can run and kicks back toward the infield. Kind of a bad break. Here comes Barnes toward the plate. The throw up the line. Safe. And it's 6-3. Sam Smith with a 2-out double down the right field line. Then a kick right out in front for the right fielder Garrett Jones, which I thought was a break.
Yeah. Right down the line. Seth turns on that fastball. Steve Pearce tries to get off the line, but it was hit right over the top of the bag. It hit in fair territory, went over the outside part of the bag. Barnes is running just hard the whole way, and he gets the green light from Richie Dower to keep going, because that's a difficult play for that outfielder. When he goes over there, kicks back over, he's got to change directions, come back, and make the throw.
Jesse Chavez is going to be next with Carlos Gonzalez coming to the plate. Rockies within 3 runs. Down the first base line to make it 6-3. And with 2 outs, he's in scoring position for Carlos Gonzalez. Jesse Chavez is aboard for the Pirates. Gonzalez, a sac bunt, a drive that may have gone out of the ballpark in left, if not for the great catch by Lastings Millage in the 3rd. And in the 6th inning, a home run to right center. So he's locked in pretty good.
Well, he is, and the reason why Chavez is in here, we saw those numbers just a second ago. Lefties hitting just .215. Even though they do not have a lefty out in the pen, he is their designated guy to come in and get left-handers out.
And his repertoire is pretty much fastball, changeup, and that was a changeup. Here's the home run by Gonzalez.
And that was just a laser. A laser ball that got out quick. I kind of think back to that last half inning, back in the 6th inning when Todd Helton had the triple, weren't able to score him. Because right now it'd be a 6-4 ball game. One swing of the bat is tied up.
John Russell's employing the theory, I keep looking at the outfield defense that has been utilized through the years by other teams, particularly when this park played much bigger back in the mid-late 90s. They're just bunching the gaps. And this is a little flare that is gloved in the air by Andy LaRoche. The Rockies get another run. It is 6-3 after the RBI double by Seth Smith. The work of Josh Fogg. He went 4 1/3 innings in relief of Yolis Chacin, and he gave up just a couple of runs on 6 hits, struck out 4, and he kept the Rockies in this baseball game. It is 6-3 right now. That's brought to you by the Mercedes-Benz. You must experience the amazing new E-Class, and he gives way to Joe Beimel in the 8th inning, and for the 5th time tonight, Andrew McCutchen will lead off. McCutchen is 0 for 1 and 3 walks, and he promptly pulls one down the left field line. This will be a double.
This is a smooth runner.
I think you can run a 6.2 60 unless you're really smooth.
Well, this is the first time tonight that he's gone swinging at that first pitch. He's been pretty patient at the plate. The lefty, he sees that ball well. But here's what I'm talking about running. He just puts those head down, drives those arms, pumps those arms, and hits the inside part of the bag.
Lasting's Millage, an RBI double to right his last time up.
Lasting's going to try to hit the ball to the right side. He's also a guy, though, that's not afraid to drop a bunt down.
Which would be a good play from Pittsburgh's perspective. And that's what he shortened up and looked to do. What would you say, 90% of the time in these situations, Huey, defensively, the pitcher has the entire left side?
Yeah, he's got to get to the line. If he's got all this area, like right over in there, and if it's hit hard or bunted hard, the third baseman has to call him off. Basically, you can just drop that into a little half of a pie or so, because Todd Helton's going to get the whole right side. Beimel will have the whole left side, unless that's why Helton will come into this area. Beimel's got over here.
Missed. 1-1. And in that situation, if it is bunted hard enough where the third baseman has to field it, give us the shortstop's role.
The shortstop will start to go over to second base, and then what happens is he just stays there, and if the third baseman comes in, you get the rotation where the shortstop could either go over to second base, or excuse me, third base, or the catcher can go down to third base, and then Todd, being the first baseman, will come down towards the plate. It's kind of a tricky rotation in that instance because the shortstop has to go to the bag first, and then the pitcher can also go cover third base. But there's got to be a lot of communication that goes on so everybody knows where they're at and there's not a base that's left open.
Swung on and missed. 1-2. That's also one of those rare situations where the center fielder's got to come hustling in because he may have second base.
He might, and that's where everybody's got to pay attention to what everybody else is doing and not get caught napping.
Strikeout here would be huge. The 1-2 pitch. It's bounced. 2-2. Six runs, 8 hits for Pittsburgh. The Rockies 3 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for just the second time this year.
And the reason why Bimel's doing that, make sure that McCutchen doesn't get too far off at second base. Ouch. Foul tip right into the, looked like the arm of Chris Iannetta. Well, they can, that arm gets exposed, and that's exactly what happened.
He forget to put that behind him.
Well, the only thing is when there's a base runner out there, then you usually got to try to have it behind your glove just in case you need to make that hard transfer if he decides to steal third base. If there's nobody on, yeah, you put it behind your back, but when there's a runner on, you got to keep it behind that glove to try to keep it from being, your fingers especially, from being exposed.
This is pulled foul. Sixth appearance in a Rockies uniform for Joe Bimel.
Seeing a number 85 in the big leagues at last season's Millage.
Obviously a big fan of Ocho Cinco.
I've seen 85 a few times in spring training.
That would be Chad Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, well, whatever he's called now.
Yeah. Ground ball to third. Tough hop. Good play by Stewart. Real good play. And Millage was held at second. And Millage can really run. As we, Millage was held at second. McCutchen was held at second. Millage thrown out at first. 1 out. Garrett Jones will come up. Geico quote of the day. We go back to the Hall of Famer Honus Wagner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. In all my years of play, I never saw an ump deliberately make an unfair decision. They really called them as they saw. They had a tough job. If you look at Chris Ciccione, and though there are times they miss calls, 98% of the time or better they get them right, and that's a far better record than anybody who plays the game knows.
And the other thing too is when they get one wrong, they feel bad about it. The good umpires, I mean, they'll ask you, when you go out to the field next inning, what'd you see on the replay? Did I get the call right? Did I not? And then if you tell them, no, you missed that one, they feel bad about it.
I know Chris personally, and he fits that description. And he cares deeply about, as all these guys do, about getting every call right. And I'm sure the other night when he went back and saw the replay, when he ejected Lou Piniella, he realized, you know what, I missed that call.
Right.
And it happens. Not going to be the last call.
Nope, not at all. But that's where you also have to have a short memory if you're those guys and realize, you know what, I'm human, I made a mistake, and look forward to the next game.
There goes McCutchen, and he is safe at third. That is his third stolen base of the ball game, his 12th of the year. 0-2 count on Garrett Jones.
Well, it just took a long time for Joe to deliver the ball to home plate, and with that blind spot for a left-handed pitcher, McCutchen just got the jump, and he just really just outran the baseball. Nothing Chris could do.
He also picked a good pitch to go on because it was a breaking ball. Oh-2.
Nice block.
We get this usually a couple times a year. I think it's Ryan, I hope I pronounced that right, from Alamosa. Why do you never see left-handed throwing catchers? Last one, I think in the big leagues, Mike Squires caught a game back in 1980. There was one, Benny DiStefano in 1989 caught a game, or part of a game. And it's going to get a run home. Going to be a gapper to right center field, and the Pirates get that run back. That's big. 7-3 now.
We'll finish up on that email real quick. The other thing is too, there's a lot of right-handed hitters, so you're going to run into the thing of a left-hander catcher trying to throw down to second base and run into the chance of hitting the right-handed right-handed hitter.
I also think there's a stereotype against left-handed throwers that their ball naturally tails more than righties. The ball seems to come truer out of a righty's hand, but the number one reason is all the right-handed hitters. Ryan Domick, switch hitting catcher, in from the right side. Brad Andrus, a former strength and conditioning coach of the Rockies, who was a left-handed thrower, would keep a left-handed catcher's glove in case you had to warm somebody up.
Yeah, I mean, they are made. You'll see some a lot of times with pitching coaches that are left-handed. You see Matt Daly getting up and getting ready to get loose and possibly come into the game. But yeah, they have a lot just to catch bullpens, catch sides for those guys.
Back up the middle. Barnes had it, and now he's going to have to eat the baseball. He did well just to get to that ball. It's amazing. He got to that on the shortstop side of second base.
Yeah, when this ball was hit, I was just thinking, you know what, Garrett Jones is going to score, but how close is it going to be? Well, it kicked off the mound a little bit. He's 3 steps on the other side of second base, right where the shortstop is. Troy had been pulled over into the hole a little bit. Just to be able to stop that ball, to keep it from going out into center field, so you have the opportunity now for the double play. When that ball kicked off the mound a little bit, it slowed it up, but it threw the timing off of Clint just a little bit. But what an effort to get that ball.
Steve Pearce with a 1-strike count. Pearce is 0 for 3 and a walk. Well, Florida wins again. They're playing very good baseball. And the Cubs down 4-3 in extra innings. The Giants with a 1-0 lead on the Dodgers in the 4th inning. That's the same deal as last night. The Dodgers pulled away and won the baseball game. Two and one. Pirates took 2 of 3 from the Rockies back in mid-May at PNC Park. That's when the Rockies were really struggling.
Yeah, 13-20 back on that very first day, back on the 15th of May that they played the Pirates.
Pop foul. It's going to be out of play. I think it helped. No, Helton came up with it.
He caught it, but it stuck in his glove. You're going to have to run it all the way in.
Yeah. Todd caught that baseball. Look at the thing.
Who was it? Keith Hernandez one time caught the ball and then just tossed his glove all the way over to first base.
Well, it was a pitcher who tossed it, I think, to Keith Hernandez.
Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, with the effort, Todd going over there, and then you could see the ball into his glove. He's got control of it, so that's an out. One more look at how he's got to kind of fight the stands, go over there. And right now he realizes he's in trouble because I can't get it out. The only thing I can do is run it all the way in and then call timeout.
And if Garrett Jones completely realized that, he would have scored.
He would have scored because you couldn't get the ball out. And it would have been another wacky play that we've seen somebody score tonight. Think back to the first inning when we saw the wild pitch, or the ball that hit the batter as he swung and got away.
Yep. Stealing second base is Doman. He went first move. Pirates have stolen 5 bases tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Delwyn Young. Now 0-2.
Coors Field's a great place for group outings. Groups of 25 or more receive discounted pricing, scoreboard recognition, and other great benefits. Call 303 Rockies for more information. Groups of 25 or more.
And the 0-2 is popped up. Stewart calling for it. And Ian Stewart makes the catch. The Pirates get another run, however. McCutchen got it started with a double, and he has scored his 3rd run of the night. 7-3 Pirates. Colorado State games coming up September 6th right here on FSN Rocky Mountain at 5 p.m. It's the Rocky Mountain Showdown. And it is always a fabulous ball game. One of the unheralded rivalries in this country. Colorado and Colorado State. John Mosier running a kickback last year for a touchdown with Steve Fairchild's Rams. Steve Fairchild's got to break in a new quarterback this year. Todd Helton with a 16-game hitting streak after his triple in the 6th inning. He'll lead it off against Jesse Chavez here in the 8th. Rockies down by 4 again. They've played one of their poor baseball games all the way around of the year tonight on the heels of such an exciting, such an exhilarating ball game last night. An 11-5 victory over the Cubs. Helton's tripled in the 6th inning, very nearly his 12th home run of the year.
Yeah, when it first left the bat, thought it had a chance to get out and almost did. Well, you want to talk about his speed a couple days ago. Well, that was showing some speed there to get to third base. Yeah, this hasn't been a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination. Done a lot of things bad tonight, but you look at it, it's all happened in one game.
Line drive that will turn into a base hit. Ronnie Cedeno leap, couldn't keep it in his glove, and I'm sure that'll be a hit for Todd. It's got to be. So another multi-hit night for Helton, and Troy Tulowitzki coming up.
It's Ronnie Cedeno's right, got the break on it, but when you're moving laterally, it's very difficult to try to jump up and catch it at the same time. The Hyundai Cam looked like that ball went right off his thumb a little bit before it started to go into the webbing where you can really secure it into your glove, and then it just popped out.
Tulowitzki hits it foul down the right field line. Rafael Betancourt. Tulowitzki back in the 2nd inning, hit a home run to tie this game at 1. Just got off on the wrong foot for Colorado. Ulis Chacin got the start, and normally, at least by reputation, coming up through the Rockies minor league system, the guy with great control. Roman makes the catch. Tulowitzki's done. 1 out. Didn't have it tonight. His command was all over the place. And he walked 6 in 2 2/3.
And I think it goes back to the point you had made earlier in the broadcast. If somehow Carlos Gonzalez could have made that play out into center field, the one that went for a triple.
Well, Josh Fogg came on. And it was just a 2-1 ball game, despite all the walks by Chacin.
There was 2 outs right there.
There were 2 outs, and against Delwyn Young. Delwyn Young hit a deep fly ball to center field that just kept carrying, and it looked like Gonzalez had it the whole way. And he finally ran up against the wall and was unable to make the catch. It turned into a 2-run triple. And so now instead of 2-1, even though it's been ugly, you go to the bench, you're right in the ball game. It's 4-1.
I've just really been fighting uphill the whole time since then. And you close the gap last inning to 6-3, and then Pittsburgh comes back and scores another run last inning. Anytime you see like you get a little bit of momentum going on your side, something happens in the next half inning where they take it back. The Pirates take it back a little bit.
0-2 on Brad Hawk. Some players, Jim writes, have been on the 15-day disabled list for well over 15 days. Can you explain how that works? Well, 15 days is the minimum amount of time that you can that you have to spend on the disabled list. You can't say, well, I'm healthy again, I'm coming off early. You have to, once you're placed on the 15-day disabled list, you must stay on that list and not play at the major league level for 15 days. Well, sometimes the guy's not ready to play after 15 days, and so that's why he stays on the list.
Yeah, he could be on there for 45 days. I mean, 50 days, it doesn't really matter how long. It's just a little bit different than the 60-day DL.
The 60-day DL opens up a roster spot on your 40-man roster.
Right. So typically when you put a guy on the 15-day DL, it means that you have somebody else on your roster that you can call up at that point. You'll think he's going to be back at some point during the season. When you put guys on the 60-day DL, if it's usually around the All-Star break, you're thinking they're not going to be back this year.
Ground ball toward the hole. Nice pickup by Delwyn Young. And he made a really nice throw to the shortstop Cedeno to get the force on help. That was a Clint Barnes-like play by Delwyn Young, who's really just trying to get settled in at second base. Played a lot of outfield in his career.
Yeah, trying to learn that position, but he went over there and did the right thing and tried to just catch the ball first. And that's the hardest thing to teach a second baseman is when you're thinking, I've got to turn and spin and make the throw to shortstop. Well, I've got to catch the ball first and then make the spin, make the strong throw to Ronnie Cedeno. And then he made a good transfer to make that ball play even close at first base.
Ian Stewart's 0 for 3. He came up in the 6th inning with 2 men on, and he drove the ball to deep left field, but it was right in the direction of Lasting's Millage. A couple of ground outs as well tonight. 2 outs. Brad Hopp at first. Rockies down by 4 runs as they hit the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 more with the Pirates after tonight before the Rockies go out on a 6-game road trip. So they'll take them to Florida and Washington.
Oh, way off the plate.
That's another strike, 1 and 2.
Look, see if this one was any closer. Well, it was a little bit compared to that last one, but still, those are a couple balls not real close. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Braves strike zone where they kept working it on the outside part of the plate. Keep getting that call, keep going out there.
Starts with a change-up grip.
Yep. Well, it's easier to go from the circle change grip to just a 2-seamer or 4-seamer.
And this is a base hit. Hopp will stop at second. And that'll bring up Clint Barnes.
Broken bat. You can see how much from the Hyundai cam that ball gets down towards the label, but the strength of Ian just to fight it off and hit it over the head of Delwyn Young out at second base. Hey, looking for the perfect place to entertain? Coors Field Suites, party facilities, and picnic areas offer a unique atmosphere designed to fit any event and, of course, any budget. Be sure to ask about the buy one, get one free offer. Call 303-312-2444 to reserve your game date today.
Barnes tonight, 0 for 2 and a walk. Scored on a Seth Smith double last inning. Chavez reminded a moment ago clearly, if you're going to miss away with Barnes.
Yeah, you don't want to come anywhere near that inside part of the plate with him. I mean, he can also go out there and maybe get a ball that's middle of the plate. That's where if he's going to beat you going away.
Garrett Atkins with a bat. If it gets to the pitcher's spot, Barnes hitting out of the 7-hole. Two on, 2 outs. 8th inning. It's a changeup again. 2-1.
He's not afraid to throw that changeup in any count. That's his bread and butter. He uses that fastball to set that up. Joel Hanrahan, former Washington National, up getting a little loose out there in the bullpen. Pitchers due up third next inning for the Pirates.
2-2.
Well, that's the perfect location where they were trying to go away to Clint.
That one started working back out over the plate.
It's fortunate that that one was going over the backstop and not over the fence in the left field. Boy, he missed his location bad. And as you see from the Hyundai cam how much Ryan Doman had to reach back and kind of go up a little bit with his glove.
Hot foul. Doman coming back. Will not have a play. Hit one of the guide wires. Kick to the left. Rockies began play today. A game up on the Giants in the National League wild card race. And the Dodgers doing the same exact thing they did yesterday. The Giants jumped out to a 1-0 lead after 4. And then the Dodgers scored 4 runs. Well, guess what happened tonight? The Dodgers have done it again. They scored 4 runs. They're up 4-1 in the 5th.
Well, the drive home last night, I listened to the last part of that ball game, and I know a lot of the players do the same thing when they're heading home.
Randy Wolf and Martinez, the matchup today on the hill.
Well, thing for the Dodgers too is Billingsley has been hurt with a bad hamstring. That's hurting the Dodgers rotation.
2-2 and Barmes is gone. Chased the pitch out of the zone. So the Rockies leave 2 on in the 8th, 7-3. The Pirates leading. And Pirates coming up afterward. The post-game report with Tom Helmer. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Drew. Coming up after the ball game, of course, we'll hear from the Rockies. We'll also talk about walking the plank. Rough outing for Yolis Chacin today. We'll break down his performance. We'll talk about Josh Fogg as well. And bucking the trend. This is not the defensive play we're used to by the Colorado Rockies. We'll talk about what went wrong today. It's all coming up after the ball game. Drew.
All right, Tom, thanks. Right now, Matt Daly will come on and throw the bottom of the 8th, excuse me, the top of the 9th inning. It'll be his 34th appearance. Matt Daly has been special.
Well, yeah, as you look what he's been able to do, 13 scoreless, straight scoreless outings since July 10th. The last 40 at bats against Matt, he's only given up 3 hits for an .075 average. He just really is just mastered the strike zone, attacks it, and has no fear. I mean, this guy just He goes up there and he says, you know what, here's my stuff. I'm going to paint the corners. You're going to have to beat me.
Andy LaRoche, couple of walks tonight. His brother Adam was sent to Boston, and then Boston held him for about 48 hours and sent him to Atlanta. Seemed like 48 hours.
Yeah.
Wasn't a long time.
I don't think it was more than a week or so, 10 days tops.
Second tour of duty in Atlanta for Adam LaRoche. Here's 0-1 from Daly, and this is hitting the air to left center field. Long run, and Smith's not going to be able to get there. Gonzalez was over in right center field, and it's a double for LaRoche. That'll bring up Ronnie Cedeno, and it will also take us to Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Just a quick reminder to our fans at home to watch Rockies All Access this week. Myself and my co-host, Oren Lamena, head down to the farm to check in on the Rockies' biggest feeder team, the AAA Colorado Springs Sky Sox. We introduce you to some players that you may not know yet, but I promise you, you will. That's Rockies All Access on Thursday, 6:30 and 10. Drew and Huey.
All right, Alana. Huey.
I like
you.
That's me.
That'd be you. Matt Daly, good pickup. Sack bunt by Ronnie Cedeno moves LaRoche to third. And Brandon Moss is going to pinch hit in the pitcher spot. Justin, in our nation's capital, what kind of routine do starting pitchers go through on days when they're not pitching? Depends on the day.
Yeah, usually it's the day after they've pitched. They'll go out and flush the oil, as they say, where you go out and you do a lot of running, especially the Baldo Jimenez. He'll go out and run for 45 minutes to an hour just to clean all the system out, keep it going. And then other guys on the second day, they might throw a bullpen, or the third day, depending on how they feel, but they'll play catch in between. Fourth day's kind of just to get your arm loose a little bit before you get ready to start again on that fifth day. It's just a routine that you develop over time.
And most guys will throw a little bit the day after to get some of the lactic acid out.
Yep, and that's part of the reason why they do a lot of running too, to get those legs, make sure they're in shape, get all that lactic acid out of your system from the arm. Try to work a little bit of that soreness that you might have in your arm, get it out of there.
Good pitch, 2-2. In a bullpen session, we should explain, is when they're actually, after warming up, firing off the mound and throwing their entire repertoire. They're not going to throw 100 pitches in a bullpen session.
No, I mean, some days it might be 25, other days it might be 35 to 40, just kind of depending on how they feel.
Strike three. Great pitch. And the pinch hitter Moss is gone. 2 outs, and that'll bring up McCutchen for the 6th time tonight.
Oh, it just locks him up on the inside part of the plate. Boy, the Hyundai cam shows how that arm just has to bend back so much before you get rid of the ball. Four-seamer Moss just gets completely tied up. He couldn't even fire at that ball.
McCutchen, 3 walks, a double tonight. And the one time the Rockies retired him was on a pop fly to shallow right. Brad Hott made a sliding catch. I asked Andrew McCutchen as he takes a strike if he took some positive ripping after the 3 home run game on August the 1st. And he said, no, not really, because nobody else in the clubhouse has ever hit 3 home runs in a game.
Well, you just don't expect it from a guy like him. I mean, he's your leadoff hitter. He's your speed guy.
He had 3 home runs coming into that ball game.
Right.
And he left the ball game doubling his total. He's hit 1 more since then. Here's the 1-2 outside. Evan Meek is throwing, not Matt Capps, in the Pirate bullpen.
Capps is their closer, but Meek's getting loose now. Meek's another one of those guys for the Pirates that Comes out of that bullpen, throws pretty hard. Everybody we've seen tonight is pretty good arm.
Two-two, got it. Good job of pitching again by Matt Daly. LaRoche, a leadoff double, and he's stranded at third. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, 7-3 Pittsburgh. FSN is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. By Tough Shed Storage Buildings and Garages. Call 1-800-BY-TOUGH or visit them online at toughshed.com. By the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. And by Mike Shaw Chevy Saab, Colorado's crossover and SUV headquarters for 50 years. Visit MikeShawAuto.com. Yeah, the score not the way we figured it would go tonight. 7-3 bottom of the ninth. The wrong team ahead. Rockies had a sloppy ball game tonight. Got off on the wrong foot. Yolis Chacin getting the start. Walked 6 in 2 2/3. The Pirates took advantage. Now they're trying to end a long losing streak here in Denver. They've lost 7 in a row. Overall, they've lost 8 in a row. Chris Iannetta to face hard-throwing Evan Meek here in the ninth inning. And the first pitch misses. The opposition hitting just .210 against Evan Meek.
Yeah, because of that hard fastball. He can get it up there 98 miles an hour, folks. It's not just one of those ones. It's 90. Yeah, I mean, he might be 93 to 94, but when he needs to reach back and get a little bit more, he could do it. Fastball changeup. He will cut the ball into left-handed hitters.
Now Iannetta fouls it off. Good news from down on the farm. George wouldn't do it, but we're going to brag on his son Parker, who's had a real good run the last couple of months. How about his numbers tonight? 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8 in a 1-0 win. Parker Frazier now 10-7 with Asheville.
Good for Parker.
Yeah. Tell you what, his last dozen or so starts down in Asheville, by and large, have been very, very good. And Christian Friedrich, since we're talking about guys on the farm, he's put up eye-popping numbers. Last night he lowered his season ERA to 1.32 with Modesto. 6 2/3, a run on 4 hits. The run was unearned. Struck out 8 more.
He's just allowed 1 earned run in his last 5 starts.
A pop up down the right field line, and look out, a near collision. Garrett Jones makes the catch. Garrett Atkins will be the pinch hitter for Daly.
Well, this play is made the right way because you want to make sure that the outfielder who's coming in, he's got it, but everybody's going out at the same time. Looks like Evan Meek might have tweaked something in his side.
He's done.
Yeah. Jeff Karstens and Matt Capps both up and tossing, but anytime you see that from the side and grabbing it, that's not a good thing. It's one of those oblique strains.
It's impossible for a pitcher to work through, and for a hitter as well.
Yeah, right away. He put his glove on his side. He's having a tough time breathing.
And those take a long time to heal.
They do.
Capps and Karstens are warming up, but Joel Hanrahan's coming.
Well, he'd already been loose.
Yeah. 1 out in the ninth, 7-3 Pittsburgh. Just 1 out in the ninth inning. Evan Meek had to leave with a strained side. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Hanrahan ready to go. So is Garrett Atkins. Atkins pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot.
Garrett on the year, 4 for 14 as a pinch hitter.
Ubaldo Jimenez tomorrow for the Rockies against Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart with a sub-3 ERA.
Hart came over from the Chicago Cubs in the Gorzolani and Graybowl deal.
Ubaldo, who typically works very deep into ball games, will need to tomorrow. 0-2's outside, 1-2 on Atkins. Ubaldo will be going for his 10th victory. De La Rosa already at double figures. Cook already at double figures. Marquis double figures for a while. Let's pop up right around home plate. Domet will have it, 2 outs. Now the Rockies had a couple of opportunities to get back in this ball game offensively. They didn't get that one extra big hit, which I think really could have put some heat on the Pirates.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you look at what the Rockies were not able to do tonight and get that hit, as you're talking about, in a team that, as you've mentioned tonight, struggled out on the road. And anytime when that happens, if you can just start to put a little bit of pressure on them, get that one big hit, they'll start to crumble.
Seth Smith's had a real solid ball game, a single and a double tonight. 2 for 4. And it's 0-2. And going back to Parker, he's 8-2 over his last 10 starts with an ERA right around 3. 2-strike count. Almost bounced up and hit set.
Let's see if Hanrahan starts to throw that hard slider again. Just going to challenge him with the fastball. Looks like going inside with the fastball.
And a ground ball to second. Well, an ugly night for the Colorado Rockies is officially over. The Pirates snap a couple of losing streaks, an overall 8-game losing streak, a 7-game losing streak at Coors Field, and they win for just the 4th time on the road in their last 21 outings. The final score 7-3. The winning pitcher, Ross Olin.